Another episode of Just a Bit Outside. I'm your host, Steve Ely, and along with me, as always, my co-host, Wes Cook.
Nailed it.
Almost. Almost. Lord. That's what happens when you take a week off.
Yeah, just a bit outside.
Just a bit. Speaking of which, I watched that the other day. It made me feel good.
It is good.
I know. It's like, hey, man, there's the namesake right there.
Yeah, love some Bob Uecker.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
The old tuba story was pretty funny, wasn't it?
That was great. I love that one. I appreciate you sending that way.
I know I ran into it. I think, oh, that's good.
Yeah. Oh,
that's
we have our
favorite
guest. We have our favorite guest back.
That's a big job, Bob.
You guys like ratings. I heard I get the good ratings, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, yeah. You bring in the ratings for sure. We get a little boost every time Bob's on. We like it.
Glad to be here.
No, we appreciate you being here. And I like the tradition. NFL draft starts, and Bob is here.
It is.
We're ready to talk some football already.
Yeah, me too. I just did want to remind you who won the Super Bowl.
Oh, man, I'm sick. Here. There's green everywhere. I feel very threatened.
Tired of hearing "Go Birds"?
Well, rather hear that than "It's our year."
No, you do hear that a lot.
I haven't even heard that from Jerry yet. I think we're far from it.
He should know by now. I mean, Lord.
The optimism isn't there, but it doesn't matter what kind of optimism this time of
year. Dude, that whole speech about they're all in last year and they did nothing. Hey, let's bring Zeke back.
Just wasting money, overpaying. Not paying the right price.
Well, you wait to the wrong time to pay somebody. You pay them early if you're going to keep them. You don't wait till the last minute and they got all the leverage.
And Jerry's loyal and he's going to keep them anyway. It just doesn't make sense. We're in Al Davis territory.
Yeah, maybe. Just getting there. Getting there. Close.
Not to keep ragging Bob since he is our guest. Let's hop into some NFL draft. It is this week.
It is.
Takes round one is Thursday at 8 p.m. Holding the number one draft pick is the Tennessee Titans. There's a lot of rumors and stuff like that out there. There's talk that they may trade out of it. There's talk that they already got their guy. What do you think?
I think they're probably locked in on Cam Ward. As much as I think Cam would still be the fourth guy in last year's draft.
I mean, are you saying that prior to going into this draft and knowing the outcome of the results we had last year?
Dude, he might be, if you really want to be honest.
Because what I'm thinking is
he could be the fifth guy.
But I'm looking at everything that was on the table prior to the draft last year, like say Bo Nix, for instance. Taking Cam Ward over Bo Nix before you saw what Bo Nix did this year.
No, I agree. I'm with you.
That's what I'm saying.
I would say he was the fourth.
I still think
behind
Caleb,
behind Jaden and
Daniels.
Drake May.
Right. I think he's still going in that range.
I still think he's the fourth guy.
Okay, that's fair. I'm curious. I'm not saying you're right or wrong.
I mean, me personally, I feel like all the quarterbacks in this year's class are overrated.
Well, we've already talked about it.
Yeah.
We think Jackson Dart is probably the best quarterback in this draft. We think he's going to be the one to excel out of these. We're 2 for 2.
I like him. I like if you're willing
over
to let
the last two drafts.
I got it. I like Kyle McCord if you're willing to let a guy sit for a few years. If you have that ability.
Well, I think where Jackson Dart might end up, that might be an option for him.
Yeah.
but usually drafts in first round, you want a guy that's going to play. It's yes, if you can afford a guy to sit,
I'm
let
going
him
to say
marinate in the back burner for
I
a
mean,
year.
but the thing is, you got to follow that Green Bay model because it works.
Green Bay's done it, and it's worked.
I agree. It's tough to get the program, the fans, and everyone to buy in because when you invest in a first round player, you want to see him.
Yeah,
you want
you
to
know,
buy
I'm with
jerseys.
you.
You want to see this guy in the field, and just to say, hey, this guy's going to be on the back burner for 2 years.
But
what I saw out of C.J. Stroud his rookie year, what I saw out of Daniels last year, was them making the most of their opportunities and their coaches putting them in positions to do things. I didn't
100%.
feel Chicago did that for Caleb. But at the same time, Chicago screwed that whole situation up to begin with.
Right.
know-
They've had quarterback trouble since
They've always had it. Their best quarterback in my lifetime
Rex Gross.
it's Jay Cutler.
Jay Cutler.
That's even worse.
That is awful.
Good arm talent, Jay Cutler. Great arm talent.
Made a lot of money.
A lot of money.
Made a lot of money. But at the same, he is arguably their best quarterback in franchise history.
Grossman at least got him to the Super Bowl.
You mean the defense carried Rex Grossman to a Super Bowl?
Correct.
He managed the game enough to get to a Super Bowl.
In which who'd they lose to?
Colts.
Was that the Colts?
That
Yeah,
was the
yeah,
Colts.
that
It
was
Peyton.
yeah.
And
And even the
they won.
defense wasn't good enough.
Well, I mean, it's Peyton Manning,
Yeah.
and that's prime Peyton Manning. But I mean, back to the draft thing though, and we're talking about it is you're in a position where you need a lot. One guy's not going to change everything. Everybody thinks the quarterback will, and
The quarterback does when you have players in the positions around him. That's what Washington had.
Right.
They had a solid defense.
they
And a
also-
group of
they had
offensive guys.
They had a complete coaching overhaul. Too.
Yes, yes.
They brought in a whole new culture to that.
They,
a new
they had a
ownership,
culture,
everything.
yes.
Complete shock to that culture
Yeah.
altogether. So it worked out in their favor, and that, I mean, it sucks being an NFC East team knowing that guy's their future and he looks damn good.
Yes.
So,
yes.
um,
The Giants are in a bad place at the moment.
they are.
A really bad place.
But so's Tennessee. Tennessee, we can say any of these quarterbacks. Let's say Cam Ward does come out and he puts on a C.J. Stroud rookie year or a Jane Daniels.
It's never going to happen because he doesn't have any talent there.
But see, this is the other thing
Weak
we were
division.
talking.
There's a chance. You're talking about the AFC South here now.
Yes.
There's no.
If
Yeah.
Houston comes back healthy, Houston should run this division for the next 5 years.
But
Should. Very easily.
you
run
can't say
this division.
Stroud had a better second year than the first year. He kind of leveled
No,
off. They played tougher talent.
he stepped back a little bit, but
Well, that's the
he's
same thing that you're going to see with Washington next year.
Correct.
They're gonna
absolutely.
play a tougher schedule, and
Yeah.
now we got game film on.
Bo
us.
Nick's going to do the same thing.
Yeah,
Correct.
You're going to see, and that's why you typically see the sophomore slump, as they call it, from a quarterback.
It's
but-
real.
Yeah.
But-
It's real.
We're also talking about when we're talking about trading back, right? Trading back and getting the value out of your pick.
And that's the
Tennes-
word. It's the value. You're absolutely right. Fuzz.
Tennessee's in a perfect situation that they could take 3 first-round picks for their
Now
one.
the thing is Abdul Carter or Travis Hunter, who's going to trade 2-3 first-round picks? Because again, I agree. I would definitely trade out of that spot for 2 first-rounders, move back a couple spots, best available.
If you could go from 1 to 4 and still have the opportunity to get Carter
right,
and pick up a first round pick, maybe a couple of later round picks, I'd do it all day long. All day long. Because even if the Giants, and I'm using the Giants example, even if they draft Cam Ward, the Giants are still going to finish last in that division. They're still going to finich last.
right.
So you're going to still get probably another top 5 pick out of it.
I just don't see the Giants as being a team that's going to be looking at anybody at a quarterback position. Right?
I don't think they are.
So you think they're going to pass? Hopefully, trade down if they were smart.
They are going. The Giants are going to they're going to pick at 4, and they're going to pick the best available player.
Exactly.
The
I think
best
if
available
if
player.
Carter's there or
They're
if
gonna take
Hunter's
it.
there,
Well, Giants are at 3, correct? Or we at 3?
No, they're at 4, I believe. They're at 4. I believe New England is 3.
yes.
All right, Giants at 3, New England at 4.
Oh, New England's 4.
Yeah.
Okay.
Giants
So-
are 3.
So New
New
England
England's
doesn't
4.
need a quarterback, obviously.
No.
They
No.
need left tackle. They need wide receiver, which you're not going to get here. They need running back, which I still think is too early.
If
But they
New
need
England could trade back and get a couple extra picks and another first round pick at 4, so they can still grab an offensive tackle and maybe a first round wide receiver, that would be great.
I think New England wants Abdul Carter to fall to them because
It would be
again,
great.
That would be great. That's an ideal situation. That's a need.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the whole thing we're talking about. Like, New England's not necessarily in a situation that a whole lot in comparison to other teams.
No,
You talk about a team like Tennessee. You talk a team like the Giants. You're talking
Cleveland.
about Cleveland. That's
That's-
a world of hurt right there.
that is who I want to take Abdul Carter, just for the fact that defense would be insane with Carter and Myles Garrett on opposite sides.
I agree with that, but
And
still,
and
but
you
you
just
also-
ride
but
with
you gotta
whatever they
think-
got.
But at that point, though,
there's so
the-
many
two
holes.
edge rushers like that. I
Right.
mean,
No, that's great, and you become an A+ at.
You're going to be
at
you're
rushers.
going to continue what you do. You're going to continue to play good defense, and then you're going to hope you can kind of figure something out on offense. I mean, Baltimore won a Super Bowl like that.
Oh no, they did, but they are so financially strapped that their idea to build a roster might be getting just cheap young talent
Yes,
as much as they can because the payroll just isn't going to work out with where
it
they're
can't
at.
now. Not with the signing
Right.
of Myles Garrett. See, they had an opportunity there. Is you start from scratch. Let's
Yeah.
wipe out everything we've done here and start over. You're already picking number 2 in.
what was
You had
the
the opportunity to line up another top pick.
what was the trading? What was the trade value for Myles Garrett?
Well, that's the
firsts?
thing.
You're
but
looking at least
two
a
firsts?
at least one.
That's fine, but if you're not going to be willing to sign one of the defensive players of the year, then what are you doing?
No, well,
because if
he-
you can't build your franchise around a guy like that,
No, but here's the thing. Myles Garrett said all the right things and did the absolute opposite. It was, I don't want to be here. I want to play for a winner. I want to do this. And they turned around and wrote him a $40 million a year check. And he said, you know what? I like sucking. Like he didn't stick to what he wanted to do.
I mean,
no. But as a franchise, again, I think you do have to invest in elite talent. And how do you let a guy like Myles Garrett walk out the door and say you're serious about winning?
No, I get it. I 100% get it.
I get it, but you also and I know we're more of the advanced fan culture here because we know what it's going to take to kind of build into a product that's going to be competitive later on. We're not the casual fan that just thinks we can sign every Joe Schmo that becomes a free agent all of a sudden.
Yeah.
We know there's a salary cap in place. We know there's depths to draft picks and their salaries and things and how valuable that cheap labor is. I hate to put it that way without it being just a lack of a better term here, but those guys, these rookies that come in and play as a starter are the most valuable thing you're ever going to see as a franchise.
100% correct.
So that's why these draft picks are so much more valuable than what I would say is saying, I know Myles Garrett is a future Hall of Famer
Oh, God. Yeah.
and one of the best defensive players in the league. But the situation that Cleveland is in, they had an opportunity to keep this second pick
And grab
others with Myles Garrett at that time. And what they did was they went out and signed the guy for a monster contract that he absolutely deserves.
Yes, yeah.
But how's that helped the franchise?
So now they're going to be in position at 2 to either say, all right, we'll take Abdul Carter, we'll take Travis Hunter, or how much can we get for those picks? I don't know what the answer is. Is it 2 first rounds? Is it moving down 6 or 7 spots, getting another first round next year? Is it worth it?
I saw something.
Is Cleveland winning shit next?
No.
No.
They're in a tough division.
So
obviously,
what
no.
are we worried about here as a franchise? Getting better for the long term. So to get better in the long term, you trade back out of that too. And you fill the spots that are necessary. Abdul Carter is not a need. It's more of a want.
It'd be a
in
nice
their
it'd be a nice
situation.
want.
Yeah, but You need wide receiver help. You need tackle help. You
need help across the board.
you need tackles on either side. You need linebacker help.
Honestly, you could use running back help. I mean,
yeah.
There's running
unfortunately,
back
Nick
help
Chubb's
out
not
there.
the same.
There's running back help out there.
So,
but at this pick, you have the opportunity to kind of do something that could change your franchise for the better. And you got to really say, is Abdul Carter or, Travis Hunter going to be that guy? Or do we have an opportunity to set ourselves up for 3 years from now, obtain a couple first-round picks?
What you do is you call the Giants and say, hey, Giants, the Saints are offering me this, and this for my pick. If you're serious about wanting a quarterback.
Well, that's if the Giants think that Shador is that guy. Because I think we agree Cam Ward's probably that guy. It looks like
Cam is the best out of this group. But at the same time,
I don't agree with it. I think it's Jackson Dart.
I like Jackson Dart.
I think his game's going to transition to the league a lot better than the rest of these guys.
So you think someone's going to reach in a first round for a guy like that?
I think
Jackson Dart's going to be
Cleveland
going to go in the first round at this point.
I've said this already. I think Cleveland should take Carter at 2, and they should take Jackson Dart either with their pick in the second round or move into back into the first round.
Trade back in the first round
and take him.
That extra year on the rookie contract as well. The Lamar Jackson kind of move.
Yep.
Yes. Jackson Dart's probably going to be that guy. I agree.
I like him. I like him. I like McCord from Syracuse.
Okay.
You're not wrong. I like the value. The value you're definitely getting out of him because we're talking second, maybe third for this guy.
Yeah.
So the value you're going to get, the cost, and where you could save and pick up somebody else like an Abdul Carter in this instance, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you're going to be able to go out and see if this guy has any kind of potential that's going to lead the franchise in the long run. But I think with McCord, he's not a guy you plug and play day one.
No, he's not playing plug and play day one.
Absolutely.
You can get that guy in the third round.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where you're
all day long, and you can sit him on the bench for 2 years, and then you've got your guy maybe.
Yeah, I like the idea, but this is what we're talking about. The value that teams put into these draft picks, especially the high ones in the top 10, like there's so much value in it that
if you swing and miss, it really sets your franchise back.
Well, that's why you don't ever trade up. That's where you set your franchise back.
Because
if you miss,
when's the last time someone traded up
and nailed it?
You're gonna have to dig. I do think that didn't they the Chiefs trade up for Patrick Mahomes? They
not crazy though. It wasn't
they essentially swapped first round picks and they gave up a couple extra picks.
A second rounder or third rounder to move up 2 or 3 slots.
Yeah, the problem with that was the fact they traded with Buffalo.
Right.
And now Buffalo, it's just like, God damn it, I got to see this guy every year in the playoffs, and we just can't get by him.
Right.
The last trade up.
The thing is that you can't pinpoint it, right? But we could pinpoint so many bad moves of draft or to trading up.
Would you call
let you know?
Would you call the Giants trading up for Eli?
Got him 2 Super Bowls. No.
I mean, the Chargers ended up with a borderline Hall of Famer in Phillip Rivers also.
But it wasn't even really trading up. They both made their picks and then made a trade.
Yeah, but it was in place though.
But the thing was, San Diego was tied. They had no option because they couldn't play him. He wasn't going to go to San Diego.
Yeah, well, that's my whole point. The Giants still traded up to get him.
I mean, if you look at it in that aspect.
I mean, that trade was made before the draft.
But I don't even think it was. It wasn't like there wasn't a huge swap of picks or anything.
No.
I don't think anybody mortgaged. Right? There wasn't a mortgage of the future there. We're talking about look at what
the Ricky Williams move up.
No, that was awful.
What Carolina did was just as bad.
Yeah, Carolina was just as bad.
They moved up for Bryce Young and gave up the following year's number 1
or
draft
what
pick.
Seattle did. I mean, that was great for them, but Denver fucked himself. They're just fortunate that they found a guy that's going to look like
I'd make the Seattle trade all day long.
100%.
No, I think the Bryce Young is what you're looking at because they lost the number 1 pick the following year in the draft.
Yes.
who's supposedly
which
it's
that
even
became-
more of a generational talent than Bryce Young was.
and that's fine, but
And
they
what-
had
well,
the
there's just
value
a
of
whole-
that pick. They
but
had the
here's-
value of Caleb Williams that they
Yes.
could have traded out of.
But here's the other thing too. We talked about Caleb Williams was put in a perfect situation to be successful in
And
year
wasn't.
one and wasn't.
Which
So
is
what does
nuts
that-
because everyone was positive, like, oh, you got 2,000-yard receivers, you got a legit running game, you're
Yeah.
ready to take
outside of
off.
the O line, I mean, it wasn't a bad situation to be in.
He holds the ball too long.
Well,
That's
no,
why he
we've
was
seen it.
sacked the
He's too
second most times.
He's too emotional.
Little.
A little.
He's soft.
He's
Where were we
soft.
at last year on the on Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels? You
Jaden
Oh,
Daniels.
we said
Jaden
Jaden Daniels
100%.
from jump.
From the
Yeah.
jump? If
I've
we
been
were
on.
gonna go
I've been
one-
on Jalen since before his LSU.
I remember
I
talking
picked
about
them
just
to win the
question-
SEC because of him.
You
Yeah.
actually picked him to win the title that
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I questioned Caleb Williams just because there's some birdie thing.
I got a question for you, Bob.
Let's hear
I
it.
proposed to the West before, and I'm going to start with this year's draft. What's the difference between Jalen Milroe, Joe Milton, Anthony Richards?
Well, I think you're looking
and
at
Hendon
this.
Hooker.
And Hendon Hooker's a little better thrower than the
All
other
right.
two. He
Okay.
can't run like the rest of them.
But we've thrown him in the car.
Yeah.
I just want to throw him in.
And here I want to throw. I'll go back even further and add a guy to this list. Vince Young.
Okay.
What's the difference between those guys? Nothing, right?
Okay, so RG3's in that territory too. Better athlete, but go ahead.
I liked RG3's passing ability better than all those other guys. It's kind of like Jaden Daniels. I liked his passing ability better than these other guys. What I'm looking
So
at, if
you're
looking-
talking in the range of his quarterback over there, Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts wasn't respected as a passer coming out, correct, Wes? No.
I mean, it was.
No, but he played well at Oklahoma.
No, but he got ran off the field at Alabama. Ran off they said, you know what, we're better off with Tua. They walked him off the field because he wasn't a good enough passer. They felt like he wasn't ready to be that guy, and obviously he's a Super Bowl winning quarterback now. But
Honestly, I mean, I think that's where it was. But
that's where it was. Yes.
But I mean, sometimes those are the types of guys that need that motivation too. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not.
So
mean-
you're asking, okay, if these guys, Jalen Milroe,
They're the same
Joe
guy, though.
Milton, Anthony Richardson, are they NFL starters?
They're the same guy. They're the same guy, and Anthony Richardson was the 4th pick in the draft, and they're the same guy.
And
Well-
I mean, you see what's happening with Anthony Richardson right now in Indy.
Right.
I mean,
They're getting drafted on their potential. They're not getting drafted on where they're at. They're getting drafted on potential that they're going to develop as passers that could read a pro offense. And I think Jalen Hurts had those questions going against him, you know, in the beginning, and he's answered those questions. And I think those guys, Jalen Milroe, Richardson, that they're still fighting that nostalgia. They brought in Daniel Jones to compete with Anthony Richardson. They're not confident in Richardson.
And how sad is that when Daniel Jones is your competition?
You know, but the value, the elite value that you may get out of those guys, hoping that they turn out to be a Lamar, a Jalen Hurts, a guy that
No, I get that. But Jalen Milroe, and there's talk now that he may slide back into the first round.
I don't think so. I'm not there.
I'm not there at all because I think he's got a strong as hell arm. I don't think he could throw it from me to Wes accurately.
These guys all got strong. Well, not all, but
I don't see Milroe going to the first round.
no.
I don't see him going in the first round.
Okay, I thought that's what you.
No,
talking
I've
about.
said I have seen
Oh,
stuff where they're talking he could slide back into the first round.
no,
I
I'm
think-
seeing that kid from like Louisville going over.
Yeah, I've
Yes.
seen him talking.
Yeah, I mean even Will Howard.
I don't know where Will Howard came from because I
So
don't
you
think
guys
Will
agree?
Howard is that.
You think
No.
Ward Sanders are going first round, correct?
I think Ward Sanders. I think Dart.
I think Dart slips into the bottom. of
Dart
the first
will
round.
be the trade
Someone-
into the first
yeah,
round, right?
someone's gonna come in here and grab him.
if you're a team with an older successful quarterback that you're
I
drafting,
think another one that I'm sorry, I'm not
Go
meaning to
ahead.
cut you off, but another quarterback we haven't talked about that's going to be great value later in the rounds is going to be Dylan Gabriel.
I like
He's-
Gabriel.
He's shown a lot. He's shown a lot of potential. Now he has shown that. Oh man, this might be a bust.
I like McCord
But-
better.
But I think I agree with you. I think I do because
What's wrong with Quinn Ewers? I think Ewers is in that ballpark too. I don't think any of these guys are going to light your franchise on fire, but you're hoping a backup quarterback maybe, right?
Well, I think one of these guys is going to find their way into a starting job
Yeah.
consistently for years. In all likelihood, my guess is that it's going to be Jackson Dart.
I think the Louisville guy. Like if the Giants hold pat and take best available and not try to do something cutesy, I think he's a good guy for them in the second round. If they go that way, me personally, I don't think the Giants are going quarterback at all. I think they're.
Yeah,
I think
they're
as
gonna
of
run what they
right
got.
now, between Dayball and the GM and ownership,
You're going to roll Winston and Russell Wilson.
they are fighting for Arch Manning.
Okay,
It's what they're
I'm
doing.
okay with that because
I guess I
Arch-
think
I don't like it. I don't like that either. Because
No.
I am not a fan of drafting a guy that starts 1 year in college.
100%.
That guy has never succeeded.
That guy far and few between. You're talking about
That's clear.
the Trubisky's, the
Yeah.
guys like that.
They do not.
That doesn't look like Fireball. What is it?
It is not.
That tequila.
If it's tequila, we're going to be really messed up.
Oh, see, I like tequila. I'm okay with tequila. Where are we going? Are we going right?
It's tequila.
we going live with
It's
that?
tequila, boys.
All right. Well, shit. Hopefully, I don't puke.
To the draft.
Cheers, draft. Glad to be here, gentlemen.
Draft and hope everybody's teams but Bob's does draft well.
Everyone but Cowboys. Don't worry, we got still a couple more with Jerry.
You got needs, brother. You got needs.
Oh man!
Oh, love it. I love tequila. So when I worked at the bars down in Jersey Shore, that was
Ooh.
like the shot when you're working behind the bar, just like, hey, this is what we're doing, and I don't know.
Ugh. Dude, my body used to naturally reject tequila.
Yeah,
Like it
that's-
would be
that's
one
me with
shot,
vodka.
10 minutes later, I'm throwing up.
Oh, but that was me with vodka. I'm not a vodka guy. Tequila.
My body just naturally warmed up.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I almost feel like I'm going to start speaking with a Mexican accent.
Hola.
See.
I said, fuck it. Let's draft for Dallas.
All right, so neat. I mean, I don't know. I've been seeing Dallas. They're talking about Matthew Golden, a receiver from Texas, which I mean, he's that fast guy, the guy that ran the fastest 40 time. I'm not really convinced with him. I'd rather see him take an offensive tackle personally. I know it's boring, but at 12, if any of these tackles,
No,
lose,
that's what they need.
I'm
When
good.
Dallas was really good,
They had a great
even
O-line.
they had a great offensive line.
Well, you
Even-
want to model off the teams that are successful and teams that are going to the Super Bowl recently.
Inside out.
Inside out.
It's
You're
drafted
absolutely right.
inside out
I
on
mean-
both sides of the ball.
I mean, the Chiefs. Granted, this year it didn't really.
They didn't do it because of their own line, but yes,
No,
they built.
but they have a solid O line. It allows Patrick Mahomes to be as successful as he has been. I
Well,
mean,
this past year was probably their worst offensive line they had,
well the
and they
injuries-
still made the Super Bowl,
right.
which is insane.
Exactly. And so, I mean, it still falls back to that too with the Eagles, right? Like everybody talks about the O line and how successful it is, how athletic it is, how diverse it is, what it does differently than everybody else. So
It's also coaching.
Well, it's Stoutland University. I mean, there's a reason
I mean,
that we talk about the O line. Yeah, look, let's take Mekhi Becton, for instance, who just went to the Chargers, I think, on a huge
deal.
freaking deal, right?
that the
Huge.
Jets fucked up.
The Jets
And the
lost
Jets-
him because he was supposed to be that guy with the Jets. Wasn't that guy.
Came
Goes to
to
the
Philly.
Eagles.
And when,
Becomes that guy. I mean, Pro Bowl fucking
yeah,
guard. And the thing is, he has the ability to be that way in not San Diego, but LA.
Right. I think
Yeah.
he was a better being on the Eagles than he will be on San Diego or the Jets.
Well,
Not that he was
because now-
protected.
No,
but
I think he will be fine on the Chargers
Yes.
because Harbaugh brings a good staff with him.
correct.
The Jets staff has always been shit when
Well-
they actually have a good guy in play. I liked Robert Saleh. I didn't think he was a bad guy.
Well, it was proven he wasn't the issue.
No.
No, the minute he left, their defense went from being one of the best in the league to being one of the worst in the league
Exactly.
over a span of like 2 or 3 weeks.
Oh, that's
Shit was
part of
awful.
what you're not building a fantasy team. You really got to kind of manipulate your roster to get the most value out of them year per year and
I agree.
keeping guys happy. And
That's what your guy is not doing right now, though.
Oh no, not at
He
all.
is coach, and like I lived through your former coach's like shoes. I lived it. I saw it every year. Oh God, we're good and we can't win shit. I seen it. I've been on that side of it. But at the same time, he's a proven
but McCarthy was a yes man, right? And that's all Jerry wants. Jerry
That's
wants the
what
yes
Jerry
man.
wants.
why
Jerry's
do-
making decisions. Mike's
exactly?
not.
So why do you think they went and hired the O coordinator from the exact same coaching staff that just failed this year?
Jerry doesn't want to change. He wants to tell
No,
the guy what to
because
do.
if he
Yeah, but
called,
the problem-
even if he called Deion Sanders, Deion's like, well,
do I actually am I actually in charge?
Yeah, am I running the show or are you
That's
over my shoulder the entire time? And I guarantee you, he read right through Jerry Jones' bullshit.
That's
He's
Al
like,
Davis.
I'm not.
That's
not
Al
doing it.
Davis.
Davis
That's
is the
Al
same
Davis
way.
at the end.
Yeah.
It
That's
was.
the truth.
You gotta and I am a complete novice when it comes from top to bottom franchises. But it starts at the top. If you have a strong owner who is willing to say, hey, look, I know we're in a building year. I know we're not winning this year. I know we're not winning next year. But by year 3, let's see
I want to see progress.
a big jump in progress from beginning to year
we
3.
need progress reports, right?
There was never no
And-
start over in Dallas. It was no,
No.
we're winning now, we're winning now, we're winning now, and your roster doesn't dictate that.
No, and I agree, but the thing is like we all of us in a working environment hate being micromanaged.
Yeah.
It's going to be the same thing when you play for Dallas, and right now, let's even say like Carolina for that instance. I mean, you're seeing the owner wanting to have so much more control over what is not his forte.
He needs to just shut up and make his money. Put a vice
Look,
president of
Jerry
football
Jones-
operations in
Jerry
charge
Jones
and just
has
do it.
been a great owner in the aspect of how he's grown this business to be the most.
Correct.
I mean, probably the
most
most
valuable
valuable
business
franchise
in North America.
in. I think across the world, if I'm
Yeah.
not mistaken, right now. I think they recently valued a bunch of
Is
franchises.
it them?
I
It's
think
probably
it's
them
Dallas,
or what?
or was it the Yankees?
I thought it was the Yankees.
Well, it's okay.
Or
Steinbrenner-
honestly, it might be
Was-
one of those English football teams like
Right.
Man U or Real Madrid or
Yeah.
but
something
no,
like
I
that.
really think
I think it's
Dallas-
football though.
I do think Dallas is probably the most valuable franchise right now. I could be wrong, but I mean, thank you, Google. Let's figure you out.
And I think
Um,
Jerry's happy with that
Yeah, but here's the thing: the
as
worst,
opposed to the Super Bowl.
in my opinion, the worst thing Jerry Jones has ever done as an owner.
It is the Dallas
Was-
Cowboys.
was-
They were valued this year by Forbes at
Eight-
10.1 billion.
Wow.
Yeah, but
Golden State
it's
Warriors are actually number 2.
Wow.
it's because the reason why it's them too. The owners actually own the arenas they play in.
Well, that helps.
Yes.
I agree.
We're not renting that out. That's
No,
us.
Right.
that is Jerry Jones. That's the house that Jerry built.
Well, see, here's the whole thing. That's why the Eagles are looking to do something different in Lincoln Financial because the city owns it.
Yeah,
Right.
So,
They don't have that obligation the way that Jerry has.
but
but yet Jerry won't put curtains up, and they got to play with sun in their eyes and shit.
we're talking
Crazy.
we're talking
Crazy.
1.5 billion more
Yeah.
than the next.
It's not even close.
franchise.
It's not close.
There's more money there than anywhere else in any corporation.
So we
Professional
know,
sports.
but they're mediocre on the field.
but that's because the owner is meddling and stuff.
Yes.
He doesn't have.
No,
any
I agree with
business.
you.
You've got to so. I think he just puts too much value into what he's doing. I know we're way off the draft topic
That's
here,
okay. That's why we're here.
but I just feel as if Jerry could let go and let the right people do the right job, you're going to be back into the 90s thing. And the thing is, Jerry will be celebrated for being that guy that did
For
it.
letting the reins go and giving it to
If
someone.
Jerry would have just let Jimmy Johnson do his thing in the 90s, if
But
he'd have
the-
just left it alone,
right, but
they
he-
would have
But that's
won.
the
They would have
thing.
won more than 3.
But he let him go, and then Shannon Gailey comes in and he wins, and Jerry's like, it wasn't Jimmy, it was me. I did this.
And no, the problem was Barry Switzer won a Super Bowl
That's what I'm
2
saying,
years
Barry
later.
Switzer, yeah, right.
And you're like, oh, it was that was Jimmy's team.
Oh yeah, Jimmy built.
They
it.
would have won They would have won more Super Bowls if they had just left Jimmy alone.
There's some really good teams that came in. I mean, I don't. Another one probably. I think just because of how talented and how much people love playing for Jimmy Johnson.
Yes,
Yes.
They loved playing for that guy. I hated watching him.
but it was
as a kid. It was awful.
There's something when players enjoy playing for their coaches. And you
Yes.
see that with like Pete Carroll, and you see it with some coaches that
Yeah.
guys are willing to run through a wall for some of these
Look
coaches.
at the college.
It's the
coach.
truth. Like
They
I was talking to my
love-
daughter
they-
about that today. There was one, like in my 4 years of college, I had 4 different defensive back coaches. And my sophomore year coach was awesome. He was just one of those guys where, yeah, you got it, coach. I'll do whatever you need. And because he's invested, he believes in you. And there's something to be said about having these above average coaches that,
Yeah.
they just get the best out of their players.
And I think you're going to get that from the certain ones, but they have to be given that ability to do so. I don't think Jerry Jones has given people the ability to be that likable
He ain't giving anybody that ability.
because
No. He's
he's
gonna
like
pay 'em,
he's
but-
like he's gonna because what's gonna happen is he's gonna have a guy like Mike McCarthy, who was a likable coach in Green Bay,
Became a yes man.
became you're the yes man, and so Jerry Jones comes down and is like, you're bitching this dude. No, he's progressing. He's showing this. He's showing that.
No, the shit they did
I
to,
want
to Cooper Rush last year, that was
Right.
some bullshit.
What do you mean?
They didn't start Cooper Rush the last game because if he had started, he would have got
would've
like an $800,000 bonus.
So not only did you lose your backup quarterback,
But you also
But you-
shitted him out of almost $1 million.
and you didn't play Trey Lance to see if you had anything in him.
You trade to save money.
You totally messed
No,
up the whole
no.
situation.
because that's what, and it comes back to when we talk about big corporations, right? Big corporations are dollars and cents,
Dollars and cents.
and they look at the money factors before they look at employee value,
The possible employee, the production,
the
and employee
production,
value,
the employment, or the employee satisfaction, right?
Well, the worst thing about it is that they came out and asked him about it in a press conference after the game. He's like, "Oh, I didn't know anything about that."
Liar.
lying.
Right.
They're lying.
You saved almost $1 million. You
made
told
a
me
business
you didn't
decision.
know.
Right.
Right.
Which was, again, it was wrong the whole way around because when they traded for Trey Lance, why are we not in a losing season?
Who
season where
signed
we're
Trey Lance?
shot?
Did he
When
get
you're
signed?
when your starting quarterback is injured, mind
Mhm.
you,
Why
are
are
you
we
not- yes, that
looking
guy-
at our investment to say, hey, do we have something? He
Yeah.
must suck that just bad. He must be that bad.
that's what we think is the
He's-
case. We've
he'll-
talked about it before, and we're like, we think Trey Lance is just trash.
He'll be starting for the Memphis Showboats next year, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Never heard of.
Yeah. He'll
He
be
signed
playing-
with
he'll-
somebody.
Who, Cooper Rush.
No, Trey Lance.
Trey Lance
So-
did. Yes.
So did Cooper Rush.
He's
Cooper
all
Rush
Rush
signed
did
away.
too.
I think Trey Lance actually signed with the Chargers.
I
Cooper
think,
Rush
I
signed
think you're
something.
right.
For
Yeah.
some
And
reason,
then-
I think that's where he
And then
ended up.
Dallas traded for Joe Milton, which is fucking crazy.
Crazy. Gave up a 5th round pick for him or something.
All right, a 5th round pick
Yep.
this
He's
time
with the
doesn't.
Chargers.
But at the same time, they gave up a
A
4th
third.
round pick for Jonathan Mingo.
What are we doing? What are we
Hey.
doing? Did he even resign there? Jonathan, like who's Jonathan?
So
Carolina's like scraps.
Yeah, you could have him. Go ahead.
No, Carolina fleeced Dallas for him, to be honest.
No, I know. That's Carolina's like, yeah, a 4th round pick. Yeah, you can have
Yeah,
him.
you can
Take
have him.
well, I
He
mean,
ain't doing shit for us.
I mean, that's when you get Jerry on those good feels.
The good feels? Is that what it is?
I just think Jerry's on some good feels. Yeah, I mean, he gets on getgoodfeels.com. He hops on. He gets him that cannabis seltzer. the one that offers that new era of refreshment. It's crafted with high quality natural ingredients. These
Got some of
beverages
this?
are consistently enjoyable. They have an uplifting experience that Jerry definitely feels every time he has one. And it's perfect for any occasion. And what makes it even better is you get 20% off using Jabba the Pod as your promo code,
Yes, sir.
right?
Where do I
Big-
get it? Tell me how.
Yeah, I just getgoodfeels.com, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
use the promo code.
Yeah, use the promo code Jabba the Pod. Get you 20% off of your cannabis stuff right there. And honestly, that's where Jerry gets all his motivational juice from.
Probably. Probably.
But all right, so I know we dove in, and of course when Bob's around, we gotta dive in on the Cowboys. So
Yeah.
let's get back to the draft. They picked it, right? So Dallas picks 12. You did mention tackle.
Yeah. So Matthew Golden, I saw Matthew Golden. I saw Austin Genty getting there. I don't think Genty's going to get there. Genty's going to get picked early.
No,
I think
it's top
Genty is.
10.
I think Genty is. If he falls past the Raiders, something has happened.
Yeah, I think
He's
the-
that guy, correct? Do you guys agree that he's probably that once in a 5-year running back that
No,
he will? So no.
I think-
he can be. He
I
can
think
be.
he can be.
He
Okay.
can be. The thing is, he didn't have the competition this year
No.
defensively. The best team they played was Oregon, and Oregon's defense is, we all know,
Not very good.
no, they're an offensive powerhouse. Defensively, not so
Not
much.
so good.
Right?
So when I think of Genty, you're either drafting for Bijan Robinson or you're drafting for Jameer Gibbs. Now the Lions were in position for Jameer Gibbs, where they need a running back to be explosive, and you see how great Jameer Gibbs is. Now Bijan on Atlanta is not.
different.
You're not seeing anything from him because the rest of the team is just mediocre or whatnot.
No.
So-
The rest of Atlanta's team isn't mediocre.
Bijan had a year.
Quarterback play is mediocre in Atlanta.
Okay, but Bijan didn't make Atlanta better the way that Gibbs made Detroit better, correct?
Now,
No, I'll
I-
agree with that.
I-
I'll agree with that.
So I think the right
Absolutely.
situation for Genty, where is that? Because the Raiders might grab him. I saw him as early as going
if you're
to the
looking
Patriots.
if you're looking at the draft board, Dallas, he would be very fortunate to fall to that.
and I would take him at Dallas.
Because-
I don't think that's
because
the pick,
who's picking ahead of him? You look, it's San Francisco,
right?
it's Chicago, and I think Chicago is going to ride Swift.
They're going to ride Swift.
I think
They got no need. They
Why
can. They
wouldn't
need
they?
to get offensive line.
yeah, the offensive
Yes.
lineup. They need more pass or run block.
They need
than
it.
anything.
They
Well, they
need
need some
line.
pass block too. Don't get me wrong, but that run blocking will open up Swift to a whole new level. And
Yeah.
I was shocked that, I mean, granted, I love Saquon Barkley now, and I will never.
I don't know why. Like Philly should have kept. If
If
they'd have kept Swift, I would have been upset.
I wouldn't have been upset.
Swift
But-
is okay with Philly.
but-
It was fine.
But we saw what Saquon did.
He had a special season.
You guys were in
He had a special
position
season.
where
He ain't doing 2,000
elevated,
this year,
he elevated
Yeah,
your
why not?
overall ceiling of the whole
Why
team.
not?
bro. There's only been like 7 2,000-yard seasons ever in the history of the NFL, and you think it's going to go back to back?
Why not? It's Saquon.
How much money you want to put on that?
Let him dream. That's fine. Saquon
Let me
elevated.
dream.
Saquon elevated your
I-
offense.
And just-
He made your
Back over
offense
here.
something that it couldn't
Exactly
be.
what
What's
it
that
can
say,
be.
be. This fucking guy. No, I even agree with Dallas selecting Zeke a couple of years ago. They got
No,
a
I
rushing
like
tech.
that pick. I was really hoping the Birds were going to take him in the
The mistake was signing Zeke to the second contract.
I think
And-
so, yeah, because you
No,
spent
no.
so much money there.
It wasn't signing him. It was letting him get away with all the bullshit and then signing him.
And that's a good point.
Right. Yeah, he was on a Mexican.
Like,
beach
hey, man, I'm hanging
doing
out in Mexico. I ain't
exercises.
training for shit until you give me some money. And then they gave
Right.
him money.
They
And
And
should've
then
let
he
him
came
walk.
back and it looked like he was still on that Mexican retreat.
So running back is okay when you're a piece away, when you're a couple pieces away, because Gibbs made the Lions a very scary offense.
Well, you gave him a double or two-headed monster at running back.
God, between
Because-
him and David Montgomery. And I hated it because I drafted Gibbs in our like fantasy football.
Right.
Our
Yeah,
fantasy
it's-
league his rookie year. And
Yeah.
like it hurt my feelings. Like, why is he splitting carries? And then Montgomery got hurt for a couple of games. It was just Gibbs and he was going off.
Yeah.
And you're
So
like,
value
"Ooh."
wise, and then you got Bijan. Bijan didn't make that same impact on Atlanta.
I don't think he was going to with Arthur Smith there his rookie year. It wasn't going to happen. Arthur Smith is
awful.
And I think that's where Genty is this year. I think he has the ability to be that guy in
but
a
he has to
situation.
be in the you got to put him in the situation that's going to make him successful.
Correct.
And of course,
Right.
Genty's going to be one of these higher guys that are talked about because of the crazy year he had at Boise. Right?
Genty's going to have
I-
1,200 yards
I-
next year.
I mean,
Well,
but we said
Depending
that
on where he ends
we
up.
said that about Bijan.
Depending on
But
where he ends
Bijan-
up.
Bijan was going to come in and dominate in Atlanta. We said the same. I mean,
Yes.
and I know this is a different position.
Right.
We thought Atlanta was tooled to be fucking successful having Kyle
Bijan.
Pitts and
Yeah.
Bijan.
Yeah.
And then this year we're talking about Kirk O'Chains is coming in.
I like it.
This looks good.
The game against who was it? Where Kurt went for like 505 touchdowns,
Is
and
that
their
the game against
offense.
the Eagles?
I actually played Kurt in the other game.
But then
I didn't
Kurt
play him
had
in the
like
other
one
one.
touchdown and 9 interceptions in the same
Dude, it
month,
was
and
awful.
it
You
was
ain't got to
awful.
tell me.
Yeah.
I know.
So
Yeah,
that's
never
where I
mind.
think Genty's at. So like,
We-
will
and
Genty
we-
value like? Will I see the Raiders picking Genty?
I
That's
like-
not going to make him.
I
the
like
Raiders good.
Genty. I think Genty is
As a
the
prospect.
best pure running back in this draft, easily.
What I like
Genty-
about Genty,
If Genty passes the Raiders, I think Dallas they're in a
If
spot.
he
that they're
gets
gonna
if
take-
he gets past the Raiders, I think he could fall to the Cowboys.
and
I
don't mind-
actually like, and
I don't mind the Cowboys.
I
taking
know
him
it's it
I
makes me
wouldn't
look
either
like a
since
homer.
you don't have a running back.
there.
I
right
like
I mean,
Amari
is
and
that
Hampton.
not your biggest need?
Just a little
because
better.
you're paying him less than you paid Rico Dowdell next year, and you're getting the value of a much better player but a higher ceiling.
Yeah.
Like
Now-
Genty is that guy. He's a guy like Tomlinson, like a guy like Marshall Falk, where in college,
No.
everyone
He's
knew
not-
that he's gonna
not
get
a
the
pass
ball.
catcher.
I'm going to pull up the stats in a second, but Genty, you knew that this guy was getting the ball, the guy that was getting the ball 30 times a game. He's not like a guy on Alabama or USC with Reggie Bush. Genty was the offense.
But
Yeah,
here's-
no, I'm
and
not
he's
going
still-
to I
and
won't
he-
disagree with that.
But
So
here's
I
my
think-
thing is, like, what's the fall off from Genty to Hampton?
And that's
I
the
don't
thing.
think there's a lot.
I don't know if there's going to be
I think
a huge
Hampton's a
fall.
better pass catcher than Genty. I think
Hampton-
Genty's a better runner.
But here's what we're talking about. We're talking about how it translates to
Value.
the league and the way the league runs.
I think
The league-
Hampton's a
the
3-down
league
guy.
the league wants a running back that's going to catch the ball at the backfield. I
Right.
mean, most of these offenses are tooled to have a catcher out of the backfield, and that's what I'm thinking about. Like with Hampton,
Yep.
is
He can do it.
Hampton has.
He can do it.
I don't want to oversell it.
He has the potential to be a 3-down back.
A 3-down back. I know. I'm trying to make a good comparison.
So I'm
to
looking at
Hampton.
Genty. Genty had 43 catches sophomore year, 30 catches junior year. So I thought Reggie Bush was the biggest, like, can't miss prospect ever. And you're like, wow, this guy has all the
No,
tools
no.
and all that.
My
But-
biggest can't miss prospect ever was
Where are you at?
the Alabama guy.
Trent Richardson.
Trent Richardson.
Yes.
But he came into the league and was dominating.
Dude,
So, no, he was okay.
he was
But
sick at Alabama.
He was sick in Cleveland.
where I think that
Mm-mm.
Genty fits in is guys like Marshall Falk and LaDainian Tomlinson. They played at smaller schools
Yes.
and they dominated. And their game plan to shut out San Diego State or TCU back then was to stop this running back. And
Yes.
Genty's that guy. Genty is going to be productive. He will be that type of guy on a playoff type team, or he'll waste away on a shitty Raiders team, run for 1,400 yards for the next 3 years, and then have to get traded.
I
Hey,
think
look at Josh Jacobs.
Exactly. That type of guy. Now,
But-
Jacobs is a little different. Jacobs was an Alabama guy, and
But look at Jacobs now. Like, I mean,
Stud.
He's fantastic.
but I
Man,
think there's
it was-
something to be said
I
about
was
these
upset
college
when, like,
guys.
when I saw that Green Bay had signed him, I'm like, oh, fuck yeah. It's going to be him and Aaron Jones. I'm in.
Aaron Jones is
I was
gone.
buying, and then like 2 seconds later, they released it. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
No,
would've
I think there's something to be
killed
said
for
about
that.
these college running backs who are the only prospect on their team being successful. Genty Tomlinson, Marshfalk, those guys were awesome, knowing that they're going to get the ball 40 times a game. I think he's going to be stud.
Tomlinson, to me, out of that group, got completely shitted out of the Heisman Trophy his last year in college.
Again, because he played for TCU.
He was the fucking man, though.
So is Genty. Genty did that type of thing last year. He did. I mean,
No, I'm not arguing that. I'm not arguing that.
Here's my Hampton comparison.
Let's hear it.
Took me a second. I didn't want to oversell it and say like Barkley. Barkley's different. He could be a good wide receiver.
Yeah.
Yes.
Jonathan Taylor.
Okay, I like.
I think
Taylor.
Hampton's a little better on the receiving end.
Okay.
A little better. A little better. I think running.
right.
They're even.
All right. Let's say. I mean, I think that's his high end, right?
Yeah.
Zeke would probably be.
Maybe.
Zeke was great the first 5 years.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
I think
Zeke would
depending
be
on the
right there.
situation, like
So
But
guys
that's
like that
Hampton.
are first round worthy. I'm okay with taking a guy first round.
I
like,
love
who's your comparison?
Hampton going to Denver is where I like him.
Who? Genty?
No,
No, Hampton.
Yeah, if he lasts that long, he may.
I mean, that's only how many more picks.
No, you're right. I like that.
What do you say? So Genty high end.
Dallas scooped up Miles
I think-
Sanders and
I think Genty goes top
But no, I'm saying high end comparison.
high end for Genty.
I'm thinking prime.
I like Taylor. I like the Taylor comparison. That's pretty good.
No, that's not Genty.
I like
That's
still-
Hampton.
I like
I still-
prime Jamal Lewis.
Jamal Lewis for Genty.
Yeah.
The little guy though, he's not that big. So
Maybe
no,
MJD.
Maybe.
I like
but I
that
mean,
one, too.
MJD wasn't a big guy either.
no, he
Well,
was only like
that's what I'm
5'8".
saying.
Yeah,
He's
that's
smaller
yeah.
guy.
Genty's he's only 5'9", 5'10", I think.
Yeah.
Where are we at? Let's see, 5'9", 211. I mean,
Yeah,
this is a
so
short,
MJD.
stocky dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's 5'8" and a half, 211 pounds.
So you're looking at MJD.
And again, I think in the right
And, I mean-
situation, he can elevate a team to a a plus like a playoff team. I think if
Steven
he goes to the
Jackson?
Raiders, great.
Steven Jackson.
I like that one. That's a
Steven
good, that's
Jackson's
another
not a bad
one.
Not a bad one.
I think Steven Jackson fits in with a little Deshaun Alexander mold and all that.
Yeah.
I think Gibbs is special. I think Gibbs is more special than I even realized he was. But he really elevated everyone else on the Lions because just a wild card.
I don't want to go like too far into it. Want to see the Lions this year with new coordinators. That's what I want to see.
Are you worried about the production's going to be down, or you just don't?
I want to see the play calling because it was all Ben Johnson in Detroit.
Well, yeah, Dan Campbell ain't calling anything.
No, he
offensively.
ain't calling that.
Right. Sounds
And
like that was
I
good.
just need to see how it evolves from here because I love Detroit's offense. Like
I
it
think-
killed me as a Packers fan to like watch Detroit play and say I love their offense.
Dan-
I love how this team plays. Period.
But here's this: Dan Campbell's a very smart guy. We've seen it.
Way smarter than people want to give him credit for.
Yes, but what I'm saying is, like, the guy's gonna. He knew all year he's losing Ben Johnson.
Yeah,
He knew it.
he did.
So you don't think he's had a plan in place for the last 6 to 8 months?
I'm sure there's some type of plan, but I need to see it first.
No, I understand that. You want to see that. You want to see what happens here. But I know
I want to.
that this man, especially how much players love to play for him.
Yeah.
How much guys like to work with him.
Oh,
People
they
wanna
love
be
him.
around him. They love his
They
energy.
love him.
And the way he delegates, and he is perfectly fine delegating that offense. You see so many defensive guys that want to put their hand in the offense. He's in a position where he's gonna just hand off the offense to somebody.
Yeah,
that he
You guys do
completely
your
trusts.
job. Yeah, do your job.
Yeah, just do your job. That whole biting kneecaps and stuff, you see that press conference now, and you're like, fuck,
Nick
that
Sir-
dude was on it. He was right the entire time.
Nick Sirianni looked like a dumbass in his press conference.
I
He got
still
it.
don't like him.
You might not like him. That's perfectly fine. But guess what?
Oh,
He got a
God.
Super Bowl,
There we go.
but I don't have to like him.
You don't?
I mean, he's
All right, back to the draft.
He
he's
fits.
he's a dick.
He fits Philadelphia perfect.
Dude, if they'd have started off 0-3, that motherfucker wouldn't have a job.
No, that's not. He was that close. It was really crazy.
Honestly, I don't know how after last year's collapse he kept his job.
It was close.
You were still confident though, Wes. You still said the team like they,
Because we had the team in place. You saw
Right.
it. You saw what we did prior to the collapse.
Yeah, but at the same time,
Something
you don't
happened-
fucking roll into it like that, and it fucking steamrolled and never stopped.
I trust me. I watched.
No,
it. I witnessed it.
I'm
This
not-
season paid back all the hurt I got the
Yeah.
year before.
it was a payback season, absolutely.
I mean, it was, but
Now,
I mean, it was awful.
Here, there's something to say about it, right? Let's see how. All right, we win a Super Bowl.
Let's see what happens over the next 2
Let's-
years because they
let's-
didn't have any problem firing fucking
Are
your
you-
last
are
Super
you
Bowl
guys upset
coach
you
a
lost
couple
Kellen
years
Moore?
later.
What about
Hey.
Kellen Moore? Are you gonna be okay?
See, I mean, you thought you were okay losing Kellen Moore.
I thought
The
we
Chargers thought they were okay losing Kellen Moore. And then Kellen Moore unlocked.
No, Kellen
Everything.
Moore literally had the best runner. We're just going to hand the ball to Saquon because the Giants were too stupid to
Who
re-sign
was the
him.
Super Bowl MVP? They shut down Saquon that whole fucking
Without
game.
Saquon, you're not even fucking there.
I understand that. I get that. But what I'm saying is look at who the Super Bowl MVP was. Look at who destroyed that fucking team.
You want me to tell you who who the MVP was? The Eagles' defense.
Yes, absolutely.
It was not Jalen Hurts.
Turning the ball
It was
over.
their defense.
The defense did their part. Absolutely.
Like,
Guys like Saquon, he was
But
just
the-
a plus that
Yeah,
opened up
you're exactly-
everything else.
exactly.
It gave.
I'm
Hurts
not
more room.
taking anything
Kellen
from
Moore
Kellen Moore.
has never had any of that kind
I'm-
of bullshit
I'm
in
not-
Dallas.
I'm not-
Didn't have any of that bullshit in
I'm not taking
with the Chargers.
I'm not taking anything from Saquon. Obviously, he.
No,
is-
what's
he was
really
the
great is
missing
you're
piece.
trying to give it to Kellen Moore.
He's the missing. No, Saquon was the missing piece to make this offense click the way that it did.
Correct.
My
Yes.
thing is Jalen Hurts did his part.
No, he did his job. He did.
his
He
job.
was more than a game manager. He did his
Yeah,
part. I agree.
I mean,
He
the
stole
dagger.
Saquon's MVP.
Whatever. He was.
Saquon wasn't the MVP of the Super Bowl.
No, I'm saying overall, he stole his MVP.
I mean, he can't. I mean, it's all
Saquon
in the
had
Super Bowl.
21 drives in which he was tackled inside the 1 yard line, and he only ended up with 8 more touchdowns.
Jalen Hurts.
I
All he
understand
had
where
to
you're
be.
coming
What I'm
was-
saying is,
Yo, you mean his overall?
overall,
MVP.
yes,
His
that's what
overall
I'm saying.
impact.
Sorry,
yeah.
I thought we were talking Super Bowl MVP.
No,
I was
I'm
like,
not talking just Super Bowl.
No, Kansas City went into that game and was like, we're going to shut down Saquon. The problem was they didn't realize that Jalen Hurts was going to kill him.
Was able
about-
to, do his thing
Yeah.
How about,
And
how about
he was
Kansas
able-
City's offense looked fucking inept?
because the Eagles had the game plan how you stop offense like that. You rush.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You can
They-
rush the passer with a D line without blitzing.
well, A,
And it works as
Yeah,
long
it
as you
works.
get the pressure. You have to get
Kansas-
the pressure.
You got
well,
the
Kansas
pressure.
City's wide receivers are shit.
All right.
All of them.
I mean, we knew
Okay,
this.
I've seen
All of them.
teams can win Super Bowl with shitty wide receivers, though. I mean, that happens.
You got to have more than a tight end.
Who's Baltimore's wide receivers when they won the Super Bowl back then?
Again, they won a Super Bowl with defense.
With defense.
We
right.
had defense. That was it.
I mean, the Eagles' defense
Eagles
showed out.
defense.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
No,
They won a Super Bowl because of
I know.
defense.
I'm saying that. I agree with
Right.
that. I'm not
Oh no!
disagreeing with
Without the
what I'm
turnovers,
saying is
without
the Chiefs'
without the
offense
frustration that
was shit.
Mahomes had all day,
Right.
yeah, this game doesn't happen the way it does.
they literally they
But we're-
lucked their way into where they were in the playoffs. I mean, they should have lost 3 or 4 more games.
I think what was really mistaken was the AFC is that much better than the NFC.
I don't think it is.
I don't know because what happened when you brought what
I do think Buffalo
Would have been.
I
more
think Buffalo
formidable.
could have gave them a better game. Than
Probably
Kansas
been a
City
more
would.
formidable.
Yeah,
I agree.
yes.
I agree with that.
I think
agree.
Baltimore gives them a better game than Kansas City gives them.
I mean, they did in the regular season. We saw it. But I just don't think. I think they thought there was this huge gap between the AFC and the NFC, and it's really not there.
There's the upper half, the
I
upper
still don't
portion of the NFC.
Look at the Rams this year. Watch how the Rams play this year. The Rams are
Me
gonna,
too.
What?
Nothing.
No, this is bullshit.
No, we're not, it has
Oh,
nothing to do
go.
with you.
Y'all can go. I can carry this thing by myself. If y'all, you gotta take a piss. Go take a piss.
I know, because you have no problem talking about the Eagles.
I know. He'll let this shit go all night. I don't blame
Yeah.
him. I don't.
I will
blame him.
talk shit about the Cowboys. We're gonna talk shit about the
I would,
Packers.
I would love
Yeah.
to do the same. I'm so mad.
I'm not saying the Eagles weren't a good team. That never came out of my mouth. What I'm saying is, Saquon got them there.
No, I mean, absolutely. I mean, the defense got us there.
Defense won you the Super Bowl.
The defense got us there too. Without that defense, we're not looking at this opportunity to win the Super Bowl. Now, going up 40-6 at a Super Bowl, I never
Pretty gnarly.
thought.
Pretty gnarly. I didn't see that coming.
I did not see it coming.
I didn't see that coming.
But, and I know we always get off topic.
It's all right. That's what
But
we do.
I love talking about that Super Bowl so much, and I'm going to continue to do it until we're not Super Bowl champions. And until February next year, and hopefully we might be back-to-back champs. We have the ability.
You have the ability, but the odds against it are.
It's tough. Yeah,
It is
I agree.
tough.
I agree.
I mean, Dallas the last one.
Yeah, aren't they? Don't tell Bob.
But I mean, yeah. But they hadn't won shit since, so it doesn't really matter.
Don't tell Bob.
But I mean, it's
Yeah, I mean,
repeating is going to be hard.
no, everybody's gunning for it. And I mean, we're going to play a tough schedule. I mean, if you've looked at,
Oh no, you guys sending the Giants GM a Super Bowl ring?
should
You should.
absolutely.
Oh, I will roll over in my grave before I let the Eagles sign. You didn't sign him. What'd you happen?
What happened?
I mean, fuck. I would have signed and trade that dude away. There's
It's
no
so-
way I will let him walk out of the building and go to a division rival. Never.
But the problem is you don't have the option, right?
Franchise tag that fucker.
You let him go, he can go anywhere.
Franchise tag that motherfucker and then figure out what you're going to do with him. Is what I would have done. Sorry. You can tell I got a little bit of
Buzz.
Nah, I didn't drop the motherfucker twice.
Fucking tequila.
Nah,
Yeah,
it's that fucking
The
hose.
tequila will get you every time. I mean, it will.
I am going to go piss. You and Bob can argue now.
I'm not arguing. There's nothing to argue.
Remind him that Dallas was the last back-to-back Super Bowl champion.
Damn it, I told you not to tell him.
Is Dallas really the last one? That's nuts.
It is? No, actually, Kansas City is, if we're being honest.
Yeah, what are we talking about?
Yeah. Where were you, Steve? They just did it.
Come on, Steve.
so, but no, honestly, let's get back on track here. All right.
Let's go draft wise. Yeah, Dallas. I hope Dallas. I'm hoping offensive lineman. I'm not really crazy about
I know
wide
it makes-
receiver.
I know it makes you, and it makes a lot of people in the fan base upset. I'll tell you though, go back and look at drafts. Like, one of my favorite players was a first round draft pick. His name is Lane Johnson.
Okay.
He's gonna go down as one of the greatest right tackles.
Okay.
And we picked him in the first round. Is it that pretty good feels?
No,
Shout out to
you're
Good
not going
Fields,
to
by
put
the
your
way.
offensive tackle, your offensive guard on a
But-
poster to
But
welcome people to the stadium.
look at what he's done for the franchise.
Right. Oh no, Zach Martin was the Cowboys guy. He just retired.
Exactly.
That-
See,
that
and y'all
guy,
drafted him in the first round.
You slot that guy in, and he's there for 8 to 10 years, and
Yeah.
there's something to be said about that. I agree 100%. Those are
They're not
foundation
sexy
building
picks.
blocks.
They're
No,
not
at
sexy
all.
picks, but man, they pay off in the long run when you nail them.
Yeah, it's tough. The Cowboys are a couple pieces away. I mean, I don't see path there. I've been seeing receiver. I've been seeing line again.
I think O line really is going to be the first thing you want. Unless something crazy happens here and there's just a guy that falls that you can't pass up. And
At 12, I mean, you're looking. I'm hope you want a day one starter, 12, 100%. Saying Will Johnson, the cornerback from Michigan's right there. I'm looking at ESPN. I'm looking at Omarion Hampton, Tortoa McMillan.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, all those guys may all help and all that. There are a couple offensive tackles out there. I think that's I agree with you. I like building from within, D line,
Yeah.
O line. If those guys are there, and the pick dictates it, I think you jump in that 100%.
But
Now,
there's
at the
just-
same time, if Genti is there, now because Genti is a top 5 draft prospect, correct?
on
he's
the
that
big
guy.
on the big board, he's top
Yes. So now, if he's there at 12, I'm not even opposed to Dallas taking him there at 12. I don't think he'll be there. I think we're looking O-line. Maybe
But the
that
thing
Memphis-
is even when you're looking at 12, I mean, you got a guy like Amari and Hampton.
See, now that's where I'm a little more reluctant. Where I think I'd rather wait a couple rounds, see who's available, because there's a 1,200 rusher out there out of one Ohio State running backs, out of Cam Scatabo. There's another.
Oh, come on, bro.
Scatabo's going to get a job. He might
No,
be
no, he's absolutely going to get a job.
Peyton Hillis as your ceiling. Where's your ceiling?
He's Mike Allstott
Okay, fine.
at best.
Mike Allstott's the Pro Bowler. He's not a first rounder.
Over 2-3 years. That's it. That's what you got out of Mike Allstott
Okay.
Allstott was a beast in his prime.
for 3 years.
All right, fine. But Allstott.
I mean, Peyton Hill is 1 fucking year.
Yeah.
Okay. So Scatabo, if I could get somewhere between a Peyton Hillis and a Mike Allstott, I'm satisfied with the 3rd or 4th pick. Now, running back wise, there's 2 backs from Ohio State. I'd rather pass on the running back first round, especially the guy from North Carolina, which I think is going to be a good pick.
I think
I'd rather wait 2 rounds for
that
one of those
dude's
Ohio
not
State
falling
backs.
past Denver.
You're convinced because Denver lost their backs. Dallas actually picked up Miles Sanders and Javonte Williams, so I don't think there's that need. Their backs are better.
I
now.
like Javonte Williams.
So do I, and that's why I don't think the need for running back is there.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
but between those
So-
guys,
so
can I
what-
get?
Okay, but yeah, I understand where you're coming from. You're talking about who you have now at running back,
Okay,
which is definitely an upgrade where you were last year, right? We can all agree on that.
It's an upgrade. It's an upgrade. They should
So
have never
then
brought
then we're
Zeke back.
falling right back into what
They
we were
should have
just
never brought in Melvin Gordon.
No, but here's what we're doing. We're talking about we're falling right back to where you really need to pick it. That's going to be on the O line.
so exactly. What is going to improve
If you
Dallas'
feel comfortable,
roster?
if you feel comfortable enough with the running backs that you have going into next year,
Which I think they do.
You need
then
an offensive
why
tackle.
shake up the running back room now
Right.
when you can help the running back room with that
By
pick you
slotting
take
in
at
a
12?
guy that could play tackle and start 16 games. Yeah, 17
Absolutely.
games.
100%.
Pick a
And-
guy that's your starting tackle for the next 10 years.
Yeah, you pick the next Zach Martin.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. They got Tyler Smith a couple years ago, who's been a reliable starter. I think he's a Pro Bowler now. I'm 100% good on picking a tackle that
That's what I'm
hopefully
saying. Let's go. You go
yeah,
that route. I
you
think
get that.
I think we're answering, and like I said, it's not a sexy pick, but for what's
that's-
going to be best for that offense,
It's that.
that
because
go
I
that
mean
route.
the way they're paying their players now, you're going with Dak, you're going with CD in a couple of years.
Yeah.
Yep.
Can I get 1,000 yards out of Sanders and Javonte Williams, which I think you can? He's not going to be worse than Rico Dowdell, either of those guys. I think those guys are both more talented than Rico Dowdell.
yeah. All right, let's break it down.
Let's do it.
All right.
Tennessee Titans. Each of you, the GM. Steve, what do
I'm going to go Cam Ward.
I would trade out.
you go? Cam Moore, Bob.
I would trade out, but if I can't trade, I'd probably go Cam Ward.
All right, me and Steve are on the
Mhm.
trying to trade out. I'm talking to everybody I can.
I agree. I just don't think anyone values, unless someone's crazy about Travis Hunter or Abdul Carter, which I'm okay with because I think those guys are the 2 best players.
I think they're the 2 best players in the draft.
Cool.
I agree
Who,
with that.
Cam Ward and Abdul Carter.
No, Abdul Carter and Travis Hunter.
Those 2
Travis
guys,
Hunter. Okay.
Yeah.
plug in day 1 starters.
I think they're day one
making a team
starters
better.
from jump.
But they absolutely are. Yeah. And
I like
think
Mason Graham too. I think he's nice
Me too.
That's not bad.
I better be able to plug in one of these top 10 guys. If you can't plug in these players in the top 10, you did something wrong.
Here's what I'm saying. Take your Tennessee. This is my thought process. I'm trying to trade out no matter what. I'm stockpiling picks. I'm gonna get better in the long run.
Yep.
The only can't miss prospect that I see
Carter.
is Abdul.
Right.
Part of me wants to say I take Carter and then I move forward. I'm going to draft in the top 5, 6. I'm running with Will Levis. Arch Manning's out.
I like that. I'm trading back. I agree with you. I
Do
like
you-
the trading back, trying to get more picks, build more talent, go get your guy next year. But here's the
Get
problem
the
with
guy
that.
next year, and you'll have the draft equity to make a move like that by trading out of that one this year.
You got to be
Now,
strong. You got to have a ownership and a GM that is strong about it.
And if
No,
you're
I
trading
agree.
back, is Abdul Carter and Travis Hunter worth it for someone to trade up and get?
Well, I don't think anybody's
What
trading
if-
up to get.
What if
Abdul
you
Carter.
trade? Like I'm saying, what if you trade back to 4 or 5 and you still land one of them?
Well, if you're going back to 4, the Patriots aren't trading up to 1 unless
No,
they
no,
want
Right.
to.
And that's the thing. I don't know if there's a need to come up and
You're
get
looking
Abdul
like
Carter.
You just got to see where Cleveland and New York sit on the quarterback,
I think
or
the
anybody
Giants,
else. For
yeah.
that matter. I mean, if you're looking, I don't think the Giants are. I think the Giants are really sold on Abdul Carter falling to them.
I think so too.
And then,
And I
okay,
think
so
you're
now if
seeing
they
quarterback,
don't,
Abdul Carter.
Yep. Yep.
I think that's what they're looking at. But
I mean,
I'm-
you don't
I'm
bring in
shaking-
Jameis Winston and Russell Wilson to turn right around and draft a guy.
I agree.
unless
But I'm
the
shaking
guy
shit
that
up.
you're hoping for
False.
falls to your lap.
Yeah, but I'm shaking shit up. I'm gonna be if I'm honestly, if I'm the Titans or the Browns, I know I ain't with shit with a rookie.
Trade
Yeah.
down, trade down.
Trade out.
Down, trade out, and then make the Giants, make the Patriots shuffle and figure out what's going to happen. Especially if I can fuck the Giants with something. That's my way.
Well, I don't think the Giants. I don't personally think the Giants are going quarterback. I don't.
So Cam's probably
That's how
going
you
one.
fuck them. Trade out
Shador's
the first
not
or second
yeah,
pick. Let someone else come up and pull Abdul Carter away from you.
right.
Yeah, I get that. I get that.
Right.
So you guys are expecting a trade in top 5. You expect someone to jump for Abdul or
Or quarterback.
or the quarterback.
The
that they
sad part
think.
is, I don't think there's any quarterback in this draft worth jumping for.
No, there's nobody worth.
There's nobody worth jumping for.
But every year there's 3 first-round quarterbacks. You know what I mean? So
No, it's gonna
no,
happen.
there's not.
It's
Not
gonna-
every year.
most every
Most
Kenny
years.
Pickett just a couple years ago was the only quarterback taken in the first round.
most
Most
every-
Most
years, yes, I
Yeah.
agree with that.
I do like Cam Ward's resume. It's not a bad resume.
Who's
not a bit.
Played at a low division school, had to earn his right to get a scholarship to Washington State.
Yeah, and then he
Exceeded
played. Then he played.
expectations.
Okay, he played good at Washington State, and then he went and played okay at Miami.
I mean, it's still ACC. It's not like you're playing in,
The ACC and the Pac-12, football-wise, were the same shit,
Okay.
except the fact that the ACC actually had a possible champion in Clemson.
I do like a college quarterback that played 40 games. That's nice.
I
And that is the allure
No,
of Cam Ward.
I like that too. I'm an experienced guy.
That's how you feel about
Yeah, I know. I just don't think he's.
And I really didn't like Bo Nix last year. I was like, nah, Bo Nix is shit. He's trash because this guy can't show himself out after 55 something starts. He showed himself out as in Sean Payton's offense. Bo Nix was a great fit.
Yeah, he's perfect.
So I don't know.
Well, Sean Payton likes those short white guys.
He's 6'2",
I know, short white.
I mean, I'm 6 foot, so I mean,
but he's 6'2".
I'm just joking. Jesus.
So I think the consensus
I just
is
don't know
that
if he's short. You're comparing him to Drew Brees. It's not the same.
Oh, Drew Brees is like 5'9".
oh,
There's a
I
way-
know,
stop
that's
it. He's
what-
not 5'9".
I think he is 5'9".
He's close to it.
I'm pretty sure. I think we've looked this up before. I think he's 5'9".
I think he's 5'9", 5'10", easily.
There's no way Drew Brees is that size.
But yeah, no,
Okay.
I'm in on that. But like, I don't think there's a quarterback in this draft that is gonna
Oh
say
man, they got it listed on Pro Football
a
Reference.
6
6 foot.
Yeah,
There's
he
no
ain't 6
way.
foot. bro.
Wikipedia says 6 foot. I'm going to the NFL Combine. I'm going to check out what Drew Brees was because the NFL Combine doesn't fucking lie. I tried stretching my out to 6 foot. They wouldn't let me get 6 foot at the
They're
combine.
saying 6. Dude, have you seen him compared to everybody else? That
No,
dude's
he ain't
5'9".
6 foot, bro.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's 5'9".
He's 5'6", whatever you.
5'6". Yeah, okay.
That's fucking
This is MJD back there.
Lord,
With a bowling ball.
God, awful,
Okay.
awful.
So
All right.
I think we all agree that if we're the GM
Um,
of the Titans
we're trading
or
back.
the Browns,
we're trying.
trying to trade back. And
Yeah.
I think honestly, why isn't that the consensus amongst GMs?
Especially if there's not
Across
that
the
Because
board.
guy
guys are
that
so
like
desperate.
it's clear cut.
I can't be that desperate though.
But they
I
are,
don't think
Cook.
I
You know,
could.
these guys, some of these guys, Tennessee's guys, Cleveland's front office, they got a year. And if not, they're just going to get rid of their asses. And these,
My thing is, I'm talking.
No, no. Well, here's the thing. Cleveland, I think those guys have more time because even ownership has come out and said, "Yeah,
Hasn't
we
said they
fucked
fucked
some
it
shit up.
Yeah.
We fucked some shit up. We probably should have kept Baker Mayfield and moved on down the road. Kept our three first
There's
round.
no probably.
Yeah, they should have. They should have.
Okay. All right.
so if you look at
let's-
the top 10 draft, in those first 10 teams, everyone's kind of drafting on what need, like
biggest need.
biggest need.
Okay. So I like the idea where we're going with it.
Go ahead.
Titans biggest need everything.
Everything.
Everything. I need
Browns,
something.
Everything.
Everything.
Giants.
I
everything.
think the Browns need more offensive line help and weapon help.
I think defensively they could be
I
sound.
think defensively they're fine.
But there's no offensive tackle. There's no can't miss tackle. There's no so
No, you're right. That's why you trade back.
That's why
so
you
now
trade
we're
back.
gonna move back. Jaguars. Jaguars is a shit. John, you know
They need offensive weapons.
I keep on seeing the Michigan defensive tackle going to Jaguars. I don't know if that's true. Jaguars are always a shit show.
They need an offensive weapon.
Raiders. There's no, the guy ran the 4.29 from Texas. I don't think they're going to take him. I think that's where Gentry may go. The Raiders may just be that bit like, hey, that's a good move. This guy's awesome.
Yeah.
Right. Jets. We got Justin Fields starting with the Jets.
I
Where are the
think
Jets going
offensive
right here?
line help.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right there with the Jets. Offensive line.
Yep.
I
That's if you're going with Justin Fields, you want offensive line help. You want to give him much
let's help
time
this
in
guy.
pass situations.
He has a nice number one receiver.
Yep.
We got a great running back.
Yep.
I don't know if these O linemen, I mean, I think there's 4 O tackles in the first round that are graded as first round tackles.
There's-
I'd love for Dallas to get one of those guys. I'd love a 16 game starter O tackle. You got the Panthers, you got the Saints, you got the Bears, Niners.
Carolina needs defensive help. They need pass rush. That's what
We-
Carolina needs.
Yeah, we need some blue chip guys. Yeah.
That's what Carolina's going. Pass rush.
Saints, now here's where the Saints, Derek Carr is fucked up. Derek Carr can't, his shoulder right here. This is where, is Shador going here? Is Jackson Dart going to go here?
I could see Shador dropping to here.
This is where I think the spot might be for Shador.
It just, I mean, really, you're not going to be able to tell the quarterback scenario for this entire draft until you see what New York does.
Yeah. New
New
York
York's
is the
going to
team.
dictate it. Is New York going to say, hey, let's take one, take Shador, take Jackson Dart, which I don't think it is, or are we going to let
But I mean,
Russ-
yeah,
I don't think Shador. I don't think Jackson's going in the top 10.
No, I don't think he
unless-
moves up that way.
Unless for some crazy reason. But I don't think he goes top 10.
I think he's a trade
late
into the first round
Yeah.
guy.
He's a late
later.
first round guy.
Yeah, no, you're right. I agree.
I think
But-
I think the Bears, I think the Saints are the one where Shador could fall.
I think that's the landing spot.
It's
whatever.
a spot, but what's the contract like on Carr for the next year?
I mean, where it is,
I
they
think they're
kinda like
guaranteed
Spencer
to pay
Rattler.
him one more season, and then
Really?
As
they
weird
can
as
move
that
on.
sounds,
From what I saw from Spencer Rattler,
I didn't see
like it.
enough either.
I'm scared.
Is Shador your franchise quarterback? Because you're drafting at 9.
We will say you've got a new head coach.
Yep. You
You've
bring
got a
in
guy
your
that
guy.
You're gonna
So you
bring
got
in
some
your
time.
guy.
Right.
You're
I
gonna
can
get
see
some
Shador
time to
going
work
there.
with him for a year or two at least.
I can see Shador going there.
Shador, I mean, especially if Kellen Moore loves him.
I mean, you got if you can get a healthy Alvin Kamara,
Take Matt.
if you can get a healthy Alvin Kamara, you've got a
You're not
young
gonna
wide
get-
receiving
you're not getting
core.
Kamara.
That roster's got some holes.
Yeah.
I don't know if Shador is the guy.
I don't think Shador falls.
I do like some of the qualities that he has. He's started a lot of
I
games.
love his confidence.
He's irrationally confident, which I'm okay with a quarterback being irrationally confident.
Yeah, Dion.
No, I'm okay with that. Every quarterback that I've been friends with or that I played with in the past, they have an irrational asshole quality that I think is needed to be a leader of men.
I agree. No,
I
you're
think you
absolutely
have
right.
to have
You gotta command respect.
I mean, Philip Rivers
gotta
is one of the most religious guys in the world, but
Yeah,
he
he talks
commanded.
And
and
when he's
talked-
on the field, 11 guys are looking at him
Yes.
saying, this is the way we're going to do this shit.
Yes.
So I'm okay with that confidence.
No,
so
that's more what I'm getting. But I was poking at the.
Yeah. I think Shador falls to the Saints
I like it right there. I
or
as a Saints pick, I don't think that's a necessarily bad pick either,
I don't think that's a bad pick for them.
Not at all. Not when you're talking about kind of starting over.
because you could get him on a rookie contract. You're going to phase out Carr in the next year or two, get rid of him. Keys are yours, Shador.
Where
I like it. I
Right?
mean, really, I think. You
I
go
think
ahead and
Carr's
bench-
done.
I think you
in New Orleans.
especially if
Yeah, I
Shador
don't think he's
show-
more than a backup.
Yeah,
I like it.
Shador doesn't show up day one and not start.
Yeah. I think-
over Carr 100%.
If I have nothing to play for, yeah, I'd rather go roll the rookie. Let's get it going. Shador.
Well, there's
Shoot job.
nobody.
there.
There's nobody between the Saints and one other team that need a quarterback. Nobody.
Well, the Colts are there. I don't think the Colts will because they're still on the Richardson.
Yeah,
Pittsburgh.
Kyler's still there. Yeah, I'm looking, Steve. I agree. If
Shador
Shador
either
may
lands in
slide,
the Saints, if he
or he
doesn't-
may
if,
slide.
If he doesn't get picked by the Saints, he's sliding to Pittsburgh.
You're probably right. I'm looking at it. Yeah, I agree. That might be where you're
And
at.
here's the thing: I know
Did Seattle
Pittsburgh,
go?
Seattle's in before them, but Seattle just
Well, they went Darnold. They just signed
they
Sam
just
Darnold.
signed Sam
That's right.
Darnold.
Yeah, okay, so there's your money there. Okay.
So Darnold there, Baker, Bo Nix. I mean,
Yeah.
no, it's
Yeah,
lining up.
I mean, Penix and Atlanta Richardson's going to be
Again, unless
guess
there's a
Mi-
trade up.
I guess
by-
Miami's still trusted Tua.
Yeah.
They're paying him like they're trusting him. So,
Shador's there for Dallas.
well, yeah, I can't see.
He's not
I'd be
the answer.
shocked. I'd be
I'm not
shocked.
saying he's the answer. I'm not. I'm just saying Jerry could pull a wild card on everybody's ass.
There's no way.
You don't think so?
I'd be
Fuck
100%
no.
shocked.
There's no
and-
way you just give Dak $60 million and turn
and
right
then
around
say,
and draft
"Hey, we just
Shador.
drafted your backup."
Yeah.
No, I
Did
agree.
Did they not just shop Dak a little bit this year, this offseason?
It sounded like a little bit, right?
Yeah, it
and I'm
sounded like
okay
they
with
were
that.
shopping him a little bit.
But I
Yeah.
thought a little shopping. Let's just
Yeah, but the shopping they're talking about with bullshit to like Cleveland and shit, they ain't shopping him. Man.
I'd send Dak to Cleveland in a second. Fuck that.
I'm
Hell yeah.
just saying it's there.
No, I get it.
It's an idea. I just
Yeah,
I-
but
I
here's
thought
the thing:
it'd be
Jerry's
fun.
not dumb enough to take a cap hit like that. I mean, he's
Yeah,
having
the
to have a
cap
pay
hit's
guy.
huge. That cap hit is huge.
It's huge.
What is?
It's huge, and his contract is front end loaded. All his money's at the
just
beginning, so
wrong.
the cap hits are huge. His first 3 years of that deal, they
Okay,
can't
so-
really get out of it until like year 4.
I like paying CD. It was tough playing Dak because if Dak's not playing like a top 5 quarterback, then the contract is it's a bad contract.
No, Dak can play like a top 5 during the regular
But
season.
he has
It's
to.
the playoffs.
Well, I mean, he wasn't necessarily playing like a top 5 quarterback last year during the regular season.
When you got one guy to throw the ball to, and the rest of your offense is inept.
I don't think
Uh,
the rest.
Not the whole. They
There's just situation.
it's weird because I swear, like
Okay.
Dallas spends money. They got above average talent at probably more than half of the 22 starting positions in offensive defense. But it
No
just-
way. They
I
lost 7 starters last year, and Jerry said, "Oh, we're all in,"
Oh, we're the same.
and they were worse.
It's every Dallas. They're all in. Speaking of Dallas fans, could get some merchandise.
Oh, they could.
Some what?
Go ahead and get them a new jersey or something.
Yeah.
New T-shirt. Has that Miles Sanders
Yeah.
right across the front.
Oh, Sanders.
From-
Damn.
From
Yeah, wanna do that?
oldglory.com.
Oldglory.com's got you, man.
Imitation
Come on,
fucking
Bob.
Saquon.
Come on. I mean, Bob, you need some new Dallas merch, right? You can go to oldglory.com. They offer over 300,000 items for music, sports, entertainment, pop
Old
culture
Glory,
fans.
show me. I need to show me. You got to show me what we're talking about
They-
here. What am I
they're-
getting?
They're featuring officially licensed merch. I mean, Dallas said it's cool. Sell
They
this
just threw
shit.
my
Or-
email in there.
Or
I
you
don't
could
even know
just
what I
pick a
signed
new
up for.
team.
Yeah.
I might
Yeah.
have to.
Yeah, there you go. I mean,
So crazy. It really is. Like as a young teenager thinking, wow, man, we just won a couple Super Bowls. We're golden. And
And here
Just-
you are later in life, and you're like, damn.
It's just nuts. And I saw my dad. Like my dad was
Fuck, I
a
missed 30 years
my
ago.
dad was a lifelong Dallas fan. I like Dallas. I follow Dallas and all. My dad was a lifelong
I don't.
Dallas Cowboys fan, and
I still don't get it though, Bob. I don't get it.
my dad was a Cowboys fan.
Well,
I
your
mean, my dad's a-
geographic location.
No,
I don't
I know.
fucking get it.
All right, that's not, my dad was a huge Cowboys fan. I knew Dallas history. I grew up hating the fucking Packers and the Eagles and the Steelers, and not knowing why. I didn't know why. I hated those teams.
It was because of oldglory.com.
Old,
And that 20% discount.
And that 20% discount you get with using Jabba the Pod as the promo code. You can discover your perfect fan gear and save with the exclusive discount. Just throwing that out there. Sorry, we just had to plug that real fast.
plug it. I'm good with the plugs. I mean, Dallas, it's just crazy. And I'm friends with a couple other Dallas guys, know Dallas and everything, but it's just the way it goes off the friggin' rails so quick. It's just nuts.
It's everything is good with them or everything is bad.
Because the players, like, guys love playing for Dallas. It's not that. I mean,
What they love about playing for Dallas is the fact there's no state tax in the state of Texas.
whatever it is.
I mean, that
but
helps. They also, but they have the best amenities.
They do.
They travel better than any other team. No, I don't mean by fans. I mean by the players themselves. They fly across the United States in better luxurious situations than any other team does.
There's just
Like,
a
if you go
built-in
back-
pressure there that just, it's like insurmountable sometimes.
You're just gonna have it. That comes.
No,
with that
it
whole
comes with the
tag.
territory. I agree with you 100%, but it takes a special kind of, I guess, athlete to really like separate the moment where like, wow, this moment is too big and I can't do it anymore. And it's
So you
Dallas has
just
been
described
prepared
Dak Prescott.
to be that team, and it's, it seems like they just choke under the pressure of it. What are you drinking over there, Cook? What do we got over there?
This is a beer I got while I was in West Virginia this week. This is from what is that called?
Short Story Brewing.
Short Story Brew. This is in
Got it.
Charleston, West Virginia.
What, another IPA? What do we got over there?
Yeah, it's an IPA.
Yeah, I'll send some your way, Bob.
I mean,
Hang
I
on.
got 3 more cans of it. I bought a whole 4.
Let's see what we got.
Yeah,
Pick whatever you want. I was gonna give her a go.
but anyway,
So Eagles are going to end up at the end of the first round with the best pick in the draft, some guy that just kind of marinates there in the back burner, and the Eagles are going to jump on probably some SEC All-American safety or something.
it'll be-
Georgia
yeah.
Bulldogs.
Another Bulldog
Possibly.
guy, yeah. Prop. And can you blame them? I mean, you guys have hit every one of them.
Yeah, imagine if Jalen Walker falls all the way down there.
he ain't falling.
He's not. I'm kidding. It was a joke.
Carolina. He ain't falling past Carolina.
Yeah, I mean, Mikael Williams is there.
Both
That
of
would
those
be
guys.
crazy.
One of the guys is the guy that has the size. Another guy has the potential, right? You're not sure which one's which.
Yeah, I just think both of the top end defensive players for Georgia are going to be off the board by 50.
Yeah.
It's just, I think,
And
when
everybody else needs to get off the gas.
you look down there. Here's my thing: is I'd be shocked to see them stretch for anybody. And I feel like the late guys in the edge rush category, because I really think that's where we're going. If the opportunity lies,
Yeah. Okay.
I feel like an edge rusher is where they want to go.
Over linebacker?
Linebacker, yeah, I mean, but linebacker looks good. I mean, yeah, we'll probably be without Jacoby Dean for a little while at the beginning of the year.
Do you guys bring back Bond?
Yeah, Bond, we re-signed Bond.
That's a good sign. But it depends on whether he stays at that same level or
I
not.
think he's going to stay at that level. He's in a good system. Things work for him. I think we'll be fine there. But, you got the kid from Boston College, God
I'm
knows I
looking at
can't say
that.
his name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you have the Marshall kid. You have the kid out of A&M.
Like the Marshall kid.
The Shamar Stewart kid.
Yeah. That's your potential guy.
Like
again.
you're seeing those guys in this vicinity, and I just don't know if those are the stretches that the Eagles typically make. when you'll see something a little
There's
bit.
no need for you guys, really. It's more like who's the best player, correct? Right?
I think that's
No,
what-
they need pass rush,
I
edge,
think, yeah,
edge rushing.
You
Okay.
want an edge rusher here, I think.
Okay.
Now also you may see like a
Safety.
corner or safety, right? So let's see. I mean, all likelihood, Slay's gone. I mean, he's probably a post June 1 cut, and I can see that being the case.
Well, there's a couple first round safeties.
I
The dude from
mean-
Georgia. There's a dude from
Kid from South Carolina.
Yeah, they like that guy. He's kind of a freak. He's big. He's long. He's
Yeah, but
Probably
I mean,
not.
like I said, yeah, it depends on how we feel there. I mean, they did trade away CJ GJ, which was the biggest shock of this offseason.
And they always get rid of him. He ends up back there somehow.
well. You
We
guys
did
are
it
pretty
one time.
fortunate because you guys are not losing that much talent to guys that are signing huge contracts
No,
elsewhere. Are you?
Yeah,
no.
we
Where
are.
they are
I
getting
mean-
lucky at right now is they are getting max effort and skill out of their young guys who are still playing on rookie contracts. They're going to lose some guys in the next couple of years just because you just
Right.
you can't afford to sign
Can't
everybody.
afford to sign everybody.
Yeah,
No, it's
But I
just
mean-
impossible. I mean, when you win a Super Bowl, that's what you got to expect. You're going to lose the talented guys that
yeah.
have outplayed their contract.
Yep.
I mean, of course. I mean, it takes guys outplaying their contracts in order to win a Super Bowl.
No, but I'm just saying right now, you guys did it with a lot of young guys.
No, we did. No, our core is very young, so that does help.
No, you guys did. You guys Tetrised a nice roster there of solid vets, max players,
And they keep
utilizing
hosing
the young
Tennessee out of
guys.
fucking players and picks.
But that's what it is. You like you said, Wes. You need young guys overperforming their contracts.
Yep.
Guys who are getting paid elite to play at an elite level, and you got to be healthy. You got to be guys that are going to be there.
No,
for-
it does come back to health, right?
Yep.
I mean, health is a huge thing.
I mean, that's not for just for your
health-
team. It's for any team. You
Yeah,
know,
that's
it's the
health and
healthiest team.
health and death will change everything about
Absolutely.
an entire season.
Little
so-
bitter this IPA, West. A little bitter. It's a little
It's
hoppy.
IPA.
It's a little
An
hoppy for
IPA,
my
that's-
liking,
that's
but
what you get out of an IPA.
okay. I'm just letting you know. I'm a white trash beer drinker. Good.
Nothing wrong with a PBR.
Yeah, no, not at all. Oh, I had a PBR the other night. It was
They're
kind of rough. I got the 24 ounce, and by the time I got to the bottom, I was like, man, those last 4 ounces are not.
Let it get too warm.
Not
That's
yummy.
You gotta keep them ice cold. That means
Woo.
finish them in 5 minutes or less.
you ain't kidding, son.
I mean, I love talking about the birds, of course. We could always do that. But
What's your biggest need? Do you feel as a
I think edge rusher is really
Yeah, that's
where
what
we
you
want to go. I mean, last
Graham?
year,
Graham retired, right?
yeah, BG's gone. And I like Nolan Smith to be able to kind of fill that role for us.
Yeah.
I just don't know if he has like just that elite level in him that Hassan Reddick. And maybe it's there and I just haven't seen it yet. But that's what I'm looking for, right? That's what I miss about some of the just Reddick just being able to beat one or two guys off the edge and just get to the quarterback, and then that just makes everybody else better, right? You see Jalen Carter right there. You see Jordan Davis right
Yeah.
there. And it's just Josh Sweat. That's another guy we love. There's a lot of the team would be different next year because it will miss some of the key faces you heard the name from, especially Sweat. Sweat had a fucking Super Bowl.
Yeah, he did. He played great.
Joshua was huge. And I mean, I hope we replace these guys with guys that are going to be able to dominate like Josh Sweat,
Right.
given the advantage he's given. Because he's going to be manned up. He's not going to be double teamed. And that you just need Jalen Carter to keep doing what he does. Break a couple double teams again. That's it.
No, that guy's he's a bad dude. He's everything you
I
want.
think
in
what you
D-tackle.
see from the Eagles, especially like offloading, I mean, the contract for CJGJ wasn't huge. But in the long term, That's money that's probably going to fill Jalen Carter's cup. Because Jalen Carter is going to be the highest paid defensive player in 3 years.
Yeah, he'll
Well,
be,
actually 2 years. Because, I mean, we're going to negotiate after.
you're
year
going
four.
to want to
Yeah,
extend him
you're
early.
you're not going to fuck around and do something like Dallas.
Pay him early. No,
Maybe.
Don't wait. Yeah, no,
Maybe.
No, there's no reason to wait.
No,
You pay him early.
No, no,
Pay
I'm
him
not-
early
I'm-
because
I'm
everybody
not-
else's contracts are going like this.
I'm not disagreeing
So-
that you pay
Get to him
early.
early, right, Cook? Right?
Yeah,
Get to
I
him
agree.
early.
Yeah, get to him early. Go ahead and get him, because within 12 months.
So he's going to be the highest paid defensive player.
It used to happen a
100%.
lot in the NBA where you paid a
So
guy
he's
too
worth
early.
40 plus million.
Yeah, he's going to be. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's
Someone
just
will pay
what
him.
that's what the payroll is.
If the Eagles aren't going to pay him, somebody else.
He ain't
will.
worth that. I don't think.
Oh,
think
I disagree.
fucking.
He's-
Ah, man, you haven't watched enough Taylor Carter.
He's
I
kinda
know.
like-
No, I'm not saying he's not a good player. I'm just not into that fucking playing one defensive guy $40 million fucking dollars.
You're paying someone $40 million, and you
got
minus.
to.
So a guy
I don't
like that
like it.
who he
Yeah, but if you're
disrupts-
paying that guy 40, somewhere else you're losing out on talent.
I agree. No,
I mean, it's
I
gonna be the
100%.
And
Yes.
you got to figure it. And I just don't see it. I
Because-
mean, no, he played great last year. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not ready to pay that dude $40 million a year yet.
That's
I need to see
understandable.
2 more years.
Okay.
Okay,
You don't
that's
have to pay
fair.
him yet, right?
We're
What do we got
saying-
him on the
we're-
books for
we're-
2
But
more?
you're
You
talking
got
about
2 more
paying him
years.
early. Paying him early is going to be into
After
next
year
year.
4, after year 4.
Yeah, after year 4, you got to decide that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you make that decision. You're after year 4.
and I like extending the guy like that.
No,
mean, if
I
he's-
100% like
I
giving
know
him
where- I see
picking up
where
the fifth year option.
I see where you're coming from now. I understand that.
it's hard to
That's
want to pay
perfect.
anyone in your franchise that much and drag that much of your salary cap into it. That's
I
what
mean,
Dal-
look at Dallas right now. I mean, Dallas is paying what, $95 million
and that's
to
the thing.
2 dudes.
If you're going to pay a player that much over
close
the,
to that?
the league average, that player has
Has to be.
produce over his value.
Has
I
to.
take meds thing. He has to.
Hey, by the way, that's twice.
that's twice to take meds. I
That's
did it
4
last time,
times. You want to
too.
be honest?
Fucking ass. guys, come on. No, seriously. If you're going to invest that top
Yes.
contract to that position player, he's got to exceed.
He's
those
got to
expectations.
exceed.
And
Miles
if not,
Garrett
your
has
team's losing.
100% exceeded that.
Right.
I can't see giving a guy his first extension that $40 million extension.
Dak Prescott is not, and that's it.
No.
Dak, you haven't. You're being
No, I'm not
paid as a
saying
top
I'm not
five.
saying Jalen Carter is not good. I don't want you to sit here and think that I'm, saying that.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying he's gonna
His
get it.
value is going to be a max contract as a
can't-
D tackle.
His
I
value
just
is
don't
there.
like it.
Someone's paying him that.
He's a
I
top,
can't see paying a defensive tackle $40 million.
but he's
He-
a
he's-
top 5 defensive tackle, right?
I mean,
Right.
right now,
What is the average
he's
salary for
probably
defense?
he's probably the best defensive tackle. If you go based off like just the playoff,
Just give me
run
top
he
5.
had,
Who are the top 5 defensive tackles?
yeah.
He's in that conversation, and he should be paid that. I don't know
Hang
what
on,
that
I'm
number is.
looking
It's
it up
gonna
right
be.
Yeah, get
it's just difficult to say that you can't pay him that. That's what I
especially
don't
with the cap
understand.
going up and
The cap's going to continue to climb.
cap
That's
is
why you
crazy.
get it as early as you can, because then he's clearing more space each time that cap goes up.
Chris Jones is the highest paid one at the moment,
This makes sense.
at
$31 million.
Exactly.
okay.
So you telling me Jalen Carter, it's going to change the thing by
In 2
$10
years.
million?
In 2 years,
In
yeah,
2 years,
probably.
yeah.
I think you're. I
The
think
next
you're
guy
right.
is still $4 million under Jones.
The money's there, and then if the money's there, a guy like that's
No,
gonna
no,
get
it
paid.
goes from 31 million to 27 to 26, and then a bunch of guys at 24. You're telling
Jalen-
me it's going to go from 31 to 40 for a defensive tackle?
maybe 37, 38, but it's going to be around there. I agree. He's that guy, and he's that talented.
Okay,
and
maybe I'm overstepping the
No, I'm-
highest paid defensive, but he's going to be up there. He's going to be a top 10
top
defensive.
3 defensive
paid
tackle.
player.
Yeah,
But
But I mean, like, yeah, okay.
I get it. I know. I
mean,
get it.
you-
I'm not. I
We
get
could
it.
value. Yes, we're gonna value the edge rusher over a defensive tackle. I get it.
right. More of an impact from
Yeah,
down
more of
down.
an impact.
Alan McNeil is the youngest guy on this list in the top 10. He's 25. He's making 24 and a half.
And he's a quarter of the player that Jalen Carter.
I'm just saying that just pay wise.
right.
Pay wise.
And that's why
and
a guy like
age. I'm
him-
I'm just looking at age I'm not
how
trying
old,
to compare.
how old Jalen Carter? 23.
23.
Yeah, 23,
Dude's
24
gonna
at most.
Dude's gonna get paid $40 million.
At most.
I
Where,
agree.
where's his comp? Is like a Russell Maryland? Is it like a Warren Sapp? Where do you think it's at, Cook?
I mean, Warren Sapp level. Really?
Warren Sapp changed the game for defensive.
Okay.
But this is where I think
Jalen
Jalen-
talent. Jalen Carter's talent is there.
Okay,
I think-
is
I
he
think he
Aaron
plays-
Donald?
No.
No, I think Aaron Donald's.
Donald's different.
Okay.
I think he has the potential to be that good.
Okay.
I don't think he. Aaron Donald was just a
No, no,
freaking
I
freak.
get it, but Aaron Donald never made that. But at the same
But he's
time,
not playing
I know,
anymore.
I know that.
Right.
But I'm just using that as a comp. I
Russell
mean, is he
Maryland
Aaron
was a
Donald?
great- Okay.
What was Aaron Donald's last contract?
You can't even talk the pay. The pay doesn't even matter anymore.
Yeah, it
The pay-
doesn't
it's
matter.
fucking
Well, no, I'm
unbelievable.
just
I'm ju-
curious.
I'm just saying, but
curious
he's
at
not-
this point. I just wonder where it's at.
But talent level, Jalen Carter, he's like impactful the way a guy like Warren Sapp was. Just a disruptor.
I mean, he's,
just a guy
he's
that
Fletcher
fucks
Cox
up.
2.0.
I think he's has a higher ceiling than Fletcher Cox.
I do too, but Fletcher
Right.
Cox is likely probably not a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Aaron
but he's-
Donald's last deal was
22.
31 and a half a year. But
Fletcher
you just
Cox-
said he's not Aaron Donald.
I mean, but what we're
I
saying
know,
is
but
Aaron
the contract.
Donald,
Yeah.
Aaron Donald was going to set the market.
Right. The market's different.
Well, Chris Jones actually reset the market, but like a smidge.
Chris
I
Jones,
think
Hall of Famer.
Jalen Carter is going to be better than Chris Jones.
Okay.
I agree.
Okay, you think it's gonna? I need to see 2 more years of it.
No.
By the
That's
time it's
fine,
in.
I
but
think you're getting a
still
trajectory of
renegotiate.
Warren Sapp with a Jalen
Yeah,
Carter guy.
I think. I mean,
That's a trajectory.
I think we're talking about like first ballot Hall of Famer, no question asked.
that's where ceiling.
He's
way.
moving that. He's moving in that direction.
He's going in that direction. I'm not willing to say that yet.
You don't have
I'm
to
not
say
s-
that,
no,
but
I'm
it's the
not saying
ceiling.
he is that.
Where's the ceiling?
His
Where's
ceiling
this
is
guy?
Ceiling is there. Ceiling
Yes.
is there.
Right.
He has a very high ceiling. I'm not arguing
mean,
that.
it's
Ceiling is the
probably-
roof, sir.
Fuck yeah.
Okay, Michael Jordan, calm your tits.
I'm just saying I'm not disagreeing that his ceiling is high. I'm just saying it at the moment because I even thought it was crazy that Myles Garrett got $40 million a year.
Speaking of high,
Oh.
Speaking of high, we're gonna got Shimmerwood Beverages.
tell me about some Shimmerwood beverage.
Yeah, tell me.
They create CBD infused seltzers crafted with full spectrum of CBD, provide a balance of calming effect that helps reduce stress, ease tension, and promote sense of well-being.
Sounds like my ceiling for relaxation is
It
really
is.
high.
And all that would without any of the intoxicating effects, which I don't get that.
I thought we wanted it.
That's what it says there. Twice recognized
Maybe
by
like
Forbes
drunk
as the
effects?
#1 CBD beverage in the U.S. and the best low potency option.
I mean, I don't fuck with the low potency,
I know, but it is here.
but some people may, and that's perfectly fine.
You have such flavor as raz lime, chai cherry, ginger orange, or just hemp.
Oh, okay.
Oh, flavor.
Just
All of
tastes
that,
like hip, huh?
Yeah, I guess. All of
It's like
that, and
drinking
you get
bottled
a
water.
30% discount off by using the Jabbo the Pod discount.
30%, huh?
Yeah,
They're up at the game.
I know.
I thought you were gonna buy me one.
I'll buy you all of those you want, Bob.
We'll get you the low potency ones.
That's what I
We'll be here on draft day.
That's right.
Make sure you draft perfectly well.
Perfectly.
You'll be
well.
so relaxed, you'll take a kicker in the first round.
That's a Jake
we
move.
call that the Pritchard.
That is the Pritchard. That is the Pritchard. That is the Pritchard. Oh, whether straight from the can as used in any unique mocktail. Shimmerwood's commitment to quality and transparency ensures each sip provides a pure, satisfying experience, making it the go-to choice for those seeking natural, flavorful ways to unwind.
Well done. Done. I like it. So, what team has the potential to change like the Commanders did last year with drafting correctly, hiring correctly, everything we're talking about, right? What team do we see is making that move based on?
So you're looking for a jump from a non-competitive team to a team that can make the playoffs.
And
that's,
here's my thing. I don't think they need to go NFC Championship.
God.
I don't think they have to even make the playoffs. They have to battle. They could be kind of like Cincinnati was.
I don't want to. I don't even want to say the team I kind of think, because if they do right with their draft early, they can make a huge jump. And that's Chicago. They got 3 picks in the first 35.
Right.
So a good first 2 rounds for them.
all right, so where are they going the first?
10.
Chicago in the first. So where are we looking? What's the need in Chicago? We got a block,
O-line.
right? We got a block.
10, 39, and 41.
Okay.
They got 3 in the first 41 picks.
O-line.
O-line all day long.
2 of those picks have to be O-line.
So we got some O-line guys that are potential top 10 picks. Is that who they're going to go with? That's
And middle
another
linebacker.
boring pick. I like that.
O-line,
I
middle
think Chicago's
linebacker.
in that. And looking at the draft, I'm looking at Atlanta or
Yeah,
Indianapolis.
I think the way Chicago's going to be impactful is being quiet during this.
Yeah. Just take
Low
the smart.
key,
Just take the smart.
Smart, low key, unsexy picks.
That's it.
Chicago
And I hate to
does
say that as a Packers fan, but I mean, when they've got that kind of ammunition, because I mean, you really want to be honest, they could draft at 10 and turn right around and trade those 2 early second round picks and move right back up into the first round.
Oh, no doubt.
I mean, what team wouldn't take 2 immediate second round picks to move up to 25, 26?
Right. Well, Chicago's going to need more
24.
than that. They got Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams is on the 4-year plan right now. So
Offensively,
you're planning like a 4-year, 5-year trajectory on a team like that. So, yes, that's where I think O-line is valuable, the D-line and everything.
it's O-line. Chicago's defense wasn't terrible. It wasn't terrible. They need offensive line help. They need Caleb to let the ball go. Don't
Right.
take the sack. Throw it out of bounds. Fuck your completion percentage. Throw it out of bounds.
Yeah.
Don't take the 15-yard
I think
loss.
that took-
Throw
that
it out of
took-
bounds.
That took Jalen Hurts a while.
Yes. It
Now, I'm
it
with
takes
you.
a lot of young guys to do that.
Yeah, impactful wise, if you look at the middle of that first round with the Colts, the Falcons, the Cardinals, those are teams that no one's really respecting, right? No one's respecting the Colts,
Yeah.
the Falcons.
I don't trust the Colts. I don't like a quarterback that's that fucking tall. I don't like a guy that's 5'7"
Those teams
running my franchise.
have to hit on
Anthony
their
Richards is
picks.
huge. What are you talking about?
They are. That's why those teams have to hit on their picks. The
yeah.
Colts, the Falcons, the Cardinals.
If
He
Anthony
said Colts.
Richardson could, Colts. He said the Cardinals too.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were talking about Colts. Sorry.
No. If Anthony
Yeah.
Richardson could throw like Kyler Murray,
Well,
it would be a whole different ball game
he'd
for
be
Anthony
one of the better
Richardson.
quarterbacks in the league. Yeah.
And that's what you're signing up for with the Jalen Milrose. And, you're getting
No.
a guy. They're not refined. He's not refined, Steve. He's
No,
not
I'm not.
expected
He's
to
not
start
refined
this
at
year.
all. I understand that he's not refined. He can't throw.
Okay.
He has
So-
no
so-
touch.
So could
It's
Joe Milton.
9,000 miles an hour. or
Joe
nothing.
Milton threw an 85, yard spiral. That's great. You throw that pass twice a season.
Yeah,
Gotta
no,
be
I get
accurate,
that.
though.
I get that. You got to be accurate. You got to be that 5 to 15-yard range. That's where your money's made.
When you got Myles Garrett up your ass and TJ Watt up your ass. and
Exactly.
My pick's not really as sexy because and I keep using that word. I need to calm it down.
But sexy?
sexiness.
Yeah. But I mean, it's, when you talk about drafting, just
Oh,
the
no,
quiet picks and the
sexiness.
low, yeah,
That's
just-
with the draft. There's
so
sexiness.
my pick isn't really it probably doesn't even really stand out. San Francisco. San Francisco has all the talent in the world. They're a little bit healthier.
They lost a bunch too.
They
Lost
have-
a bunch. They paid Purdy, right?
Right.
Purdy's paid now, correct?
But yes,
No,
I thought they paid Purdy.
did
I
they
th-
pay Purdy?
That or
I-
they're about to.
They're about to.
I haven't seen.
But
They're
it.
it's
about
not. It's not astronomical from the figures I've seen. But anyways, I think drafting well for San Francisco, getting the production out of said draft picks, San Francisco can be back to the level that we expect them.
They're that team in the playoffs last couple of years. It's a playoff roster.
They
They
have
did
the
lose. They
ability to be
lost
good.
Bosa, correct? Did
They what?
Didn't they lose Bosa?
Yeah.
Francisco traded Debo.
No, I think they kept Bosa. It was
Yeah, they kept
the
Bosa.
Chargers that Bosa left.
Yeah, the
Chargers.
Chargers lost their Bosa.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Your boy Ayuk is back, coming from injury.
yeah. Let's go.
Hey man, it looked like a whole different team without him last year.
They look like a whole different team without a lot of people.
Yeah, well, that's because a lot of people didn't play last year.
Can we jump mad forward to like?
They
who's the-
lost Greenlaw too, right?
I thought Greenlaw.
Yeah, I think Greenlaw. went to
Greenlaw
Denver.
left, but he was the only guy they were really kind of fighting for.
He went to Denver, and I think they lost their safety. San Fran.
Yeah.
Yeah.
San Fran was in a position where they may have missed their window, where they were a Super Bowl contender 2 years ago. And
No,
now,
you're right. They did, and I mean, we all.
Yeah, but that
I don't know
happens,
if
dude.
Dewan's
Injuries,
never been on the pod, but
injury
Don
killed
is-
them last year.
Dewan is our
San Francisco
a
local.
local
Yeah.
San Fran fan,
Yeah, he can
and I talked to
suck
him
it, too.
about it, and I was like, hey, the window's gonna keep shrinking because as soon as you pay Purdy, everything.
That's
Yeah,
it.
everything
That's-
changes
Right.
for them.
Everything else shrinks. Correct.
Looking
Yeah.
at the roster,
But you got to
Look
pay
at it.
him.
well, yeah,
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't want to pay him Dak money though.
you can.
But you're paying them close to that. You have to.
I mean, yeah, you're gonna have to pay him as a top tick.
Right.
Yeah, but
You have to. Steve. You
no,
have
no,
to.
no. I know you have to.
I mean, what you?
I know
let him
he's
walk
getting
and then just
50
gamble?
plus. I know he's getting 50
and that's
plus.
why you really hope.
But it
that
just
you could-
hurts. It hurts me. Like I don't consider him like he's a good quarterback,
He's a game manager.
but he's not Josh Allen. He's
Nope.
not Lamar Jackson.
Nope.
He's
Right.
not Jalen Hurts. He's not freaking Dak Prescott.
He-
I mean-
and nor that they want him to be.
And he's not any of those. And
No,
so,
it's
like,
just the way
trying to give
Shanahan
him
runs an
55 to
offense.
$60 million is crazy to me.
Shanahan runs an offense the way he runs an offense. And I think that's where the holdup probably is in this contract negotiation is, hey, Brock, you ain't Brock without us.
right.
Right?
You can't be
So
that guy if you're on fucking.
If it
Cleveland
if
doing
it
that
comes
shit.
sub 50 mil,
But we've said this
That
a,
would be a
a
pretty
million
impressive.
times on here. The next team that is even going to think about remotely putting any kind of dynasty together, the quarterback's going to say, I don't care about the money here. I'm making plenty of money elsewhere.
he's going
It
to be the
starts
one, He's
there.
going to be the one to structure it.
It
properly.
starts there, which is why I don't get Cincinnati because Cincinnati don't give a fuck. I mean,
I mean, if
Burrow's
you-
already came out and said, dude, whatever it takes to make us a better team, I will do.
yeah,
Is Cincinnati, nah, we'll just leave you where you're at.
it's tough. You
But
got.
no, that wasn't it. His teammates don't have the same mentality.
They want to get paid.
Jamar Chase and T. Higgins both went in with the opposite mentality of Joe Burrow.
You can't pay two guys number one money. That's the problem.
That's what they just
That's
did.
the problem. You can't pay two guys number one
So their
money.
defense is going to suffer.
So
Yes.
yeah,
unless
when
they
you
draft
do,
extremely well.
somewhere's going to be lacking.
You have to draft well. It's Cincinnati. I don't.
It's a combination of.
I mean, if I
paying-
got to live in fucking Cincinnati, you better be paying me too.
No, that's right. And,
Place is a
but
fucking hellhole.
but the
I
fact
get it.
that you have Joe Burrow thrown to you, if you're not willing to take a discount for that, then your team is going to suffer somewhere. And that's just the way
Fucking,
it is.
if they just want to go all in on that kind of bullshit, then go ahead and draft Tyler Warren and just say we're all offense. We're going to score 50
Yeah.
points a game, and,
And
hopefully our
we
defense
win
can
50
stop
to
them.
40 every game.
Yeah, hopefully.
That only happens when you have
Who
guys
was
who
it?
are
Minnesota?
That was
the last
Minnesota
one to
like
do
3
this?
years
Yeah.
ago.
guys who are underpaid that are overperforming and get you to that level. No, I like it, guys.
But
I mean, that's what you're going to look at to be successful. You're gonna have to draft well.
You're
gotta
gonna have to
focus-
pray
you're gonna-
you draft where you have to hit
gonna-
on
but-
everything.
But you're gonna have to focus everything on defense.
Yeah.
You can't put anything offensively. And the thing
Nope.
is, Cincinnati's offensive line is what fucked them.
Right. So while you're paying
No, their
Chase, you're paying
defense the first
Higgins.
7
Well,
games fucked them.
Joe
I mean, they
Burrow
but
is
Joe
not
Burrow
getting
can
blocked.
overcome a bad offensive line, right? He's that good.
Yeah,
That's-
yeah.
yes,
You've
he
got
showed
to
that.
hit on
You
defense.
you're fortunate with that, right? So, okay, maybe we can kind of overlook it. I guarantee you, he gets sacked a few more times, though. He's going to be fucking tired of that shit,
Tired of it now.
right?
Hence why I said, hey, I'll do whatever it takes. He's willing to restructure. He's willing to kick the can down the road. He's willing to take more money later because he's going to get the next deal anyway.
Well,
No,
here's
I
the
like
thing.
that.
They're sitting at 17 in this draft. They have the opportunity to do okay. So the thing is, do you invest it on the defense? Where Cincinnati's defense did improve over the last
Trey
6
Hendrickson
years.
was
Trey
one of the best
Hendricks.
defensive players in the league last year.
Yeah. So, he led the league in tackles or
Sacks,
sacks,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were the
Yeah.
first team that have the team that led the league in passing. Wide receiver led the league in receiving
Receiving.
and the
Missed the
most
playoffs.
sacks.
Yeah.
And didn't make the
Did
playoffs.
make the playoffs.
They were the only team to ever do that.
But here, do you go if you are the Bengals looking at 17? Are you going O line or are you going to go defensive for the defensive player to try to improve your week?
Right.
Hmm.
This is an
Depends
obvious
on who's
weakness.
there. If Campbell or Banks is there, I'm probably rolling one of those two guys.
It's really nice to draft when you could get the best player.
Best available.
When you start having to draft on
The thing
need, you get desperate. You
And
reach,
you're reaching.
and
Cincinnati has a need all over the place defensively.
right. Sometimes it's so obvious. Like,
And then
just
it's
grab this
offensive
guy. This
tackle.
guy's going to be a great player, and you're like,
I
well,
mean-
we need this, and
According to the overall talent, the guys you got, well, no, we'll just start at 16, 17, 18, 19. That's James Pierce Jr., edge rusher out of Tennessee.
Mhm.
Shaheed Campbell, linebacker out of Alabama. Kevin Banks Jr., offensive tackle from Texas. Will Campbell, offensive tackle from LSU. And then you got Shamir Stewart, edge rusher from Texas A&M. All in that same range. Any one of those guys makes Cincinnati a better team if they pan.
I agree with you.
I mean, hell, Green from Marshall. I mean, you don't want to pay Hendricks. There's you a pass rusher. I mean, if you're not going to pay him, you're willing to trade him. Or do you just play hardball and say, go ahead and sit out? We're not going to trade you right now.
I'm going to be the guy that's about my players, about the guys that have performed for me. I realize it's business, but my thing is the guys that do well for me, the guys that are there for me, the guys that are helping me. I'm going to try to help them every which way I can, right? So in this instance, I don't play hardball. Try to find a way to pay him.
Yeah, but with what they did at wide receiver,
No, I mean they handcuffed him.
they handcuffed them.
The whole thing was T. Higgins should have gone.
They should have let Higgins roll, or they should have
Just-
signed and trade.
because you probably could have got 90% of Higgins' production for half the money.
You can find it elsewhere.
Absolutely.
You
I mean,
could
even
find
if
a
you
good
need a
number
holdover,
two.
What if you need a holdover for the year? Debo's out there available.
Right. There's number two wideouts
And I'm not saying
out
like
there.
Debo's fantastic by any means. He's aging, whatever. But there are options there that are going to allow for you to, get the holdover till you're in the draft position to where you can pick up that.
It's
Dude.
tough because you want to show loyalty to your fans, to your roster.
The
that,
McMillan
hey, we're
kid.
going to pay these guys, but
If you don't sign Higgins, okay, McMillan from Arizona is still sitting there. He's the 15th rated player.
right, you could get him in the first.
You could get
round.
him in the first round,
That's
and then
not-
you
you don't
reset.
do
Then you
that.
reset the clock again.
But you don't do this. You don't do this. You're still back in the same boat.
No, you're not. You're able to pay your
defense
defensive
of-
guys now. You're not paying two
One
wide
guy.
receivers $30 million.
I mean, I understand. I feel like there's other options out there, right? Like the second round can still bring you a solid number 2.
No, absolutely. I'm not disagreeing with that.
Fucking old Mrs. Kid that could come out.
And
What's
you
that
got to
dude?
pretty much do the
Harris.
math and say,
Yeah.
I
Harris
can't pay.
That kid can come out and play.
I can't pay a number 2 receiver like a number 1 receiver without losing this much value in the rest of my
Emeka Egba.
right.
From Ohio State.
Again,
Ohio State kid, yeah.
number
Yeah.
2.
Hey,
mean-
speaking of wide receiver,
Wide receiver, you, huh?
I mean, tell me somebody's put more wide receivers in the league right now.
Yeah.
I mean, trust me, it pains me to say that anything good about Ohio
you
State.
ain't gotta- you ain't-
No, they're
You
just
ain't-
rolling them out.
They,
There's-
They just keep rolling them
the
out.
wide receivers from Ohio State are killing it.
I mean,
And the
it's
thing is, they
insane.
kill it in college and they kill it in the pros.
Well, depending on who their quarterbacks are. I mean, I don't know how Aaron Rodgers and fucking Homeboy could not get on the same
Yeah,
page.
Garrett Wilson was on the struggle page, bus out
Just
there.
because fucking Aaron Rodgers don't like young guys.
But that's not true, though. He's brought up guys. What was
His guys.
Jordy Nelson and
Jordy
and
Nelson
Devontae
was
Randall
Adams.
Cobb.
No, Randall Cobb. But
I
that's
mean, he's
different.
evolved with receivers. I
He-
just
No,
think.
no. There was was it Reed that played last year with Aaron Rodgers?
No, it
No.
was fucking.
Green Bay?
Oh, they had
It
Jaden
was,
Reed and Lazard and Jaden Reed and-
Lazard and Valdez Scantley and those guys that he keeps pulling along, just like he keeps pulling along Randall Cobb.
Well, Cobb ain't played.
Fucking Cobb. Fucking should have been out of the league fucking 3 years ago.
Cobb was good for good 5, 6
No,
years.
I'm not. I'm not saying he wasn't.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm
but
a Packers guy.
I mean, he's aged out. He's aged.
Yeah, but he aged himself out.
No, I agree.
Just like, honestly, I thought Jordy Nelson had another couple of good years left, and they let Jordy walk.
It goes
early.
quick. What do you think about Cup? Cup is done. Or is Cup? Has Cup got anything
He's
left?
in
Because
Seattle, right?
I
He's in
can't
Seattle. I
believe-
I think he's
I'm
done.
shocked they let him leave and they picked up Adams immediately. And I was like, wow, is Cup done? He must be right.
I like the Devontae Adams fucking Puka Nakua combo.
Is it
for
that much of an
Stafford.
upgrade over Cup? I can't
just don't
believe
know.
that
I
Cup
just-
after 2 years is
I
just
don't
irrelevant.
know. I don't know if that combination is going to work. There's
We'll,
not
we'll
enough
find
balls.
out. We'll find
There's
out.
not enough balls.
I can't
we'll find
believe
out.
like Puka evolved to the number 1 over there over Cup. That shocked me. That was really surprising.
Hey, he showed up year one and
It
was
looked like
balling.
him.
He did.
Looked
His
good last
Stafford
year.
absolutely loves him.
Now he does everything right. It's everything you want in number 1. He's
I
like a
mean-
Mike Evans with like more.
Okay, so draft board. You're taking Devontae. Yeah, you're taking
Where are we
Nakua.
looking?
Mm.
Well, I
Taking
mean-
Nakua, right? I'm going with the chemistry.
well, right now, yeah. I mean, are you talking about fantasy football next year?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, Nakua. Yeah, Nakua's probably there. What, second round? You look at Nakua probably, right?
Fuck, you depending on the situation, you might get Nakua like early third, depending on the situation.
The
So
way
I think
wide
that's-
receivers
Depending
come
on the
off board
situation.
Quick, once those top like 6 running backs are gone, it's
No, I
Right.
get
Wide
it, but
receiver,
I
wide
think I
receiver,
grabbed
wide
Yeah,
Cup
but we-
last year at the beginning of the
we got
third
some
round, and that's
crazies that'll
probably
take some
where-
crazy people like early.
well, I mean, there's always the guy that wants the quarterback.
I mean, Sam Laporta is going first 2 rounds this year.
No. No. He went first 2 rounds last year. Brock Bowers will probably go first.
Bowers is going to go first 2 rounds.
Bowers should be the first tight end drafted. Right?
Yeah, but you got both of those guys could technically be first 2 round tight ends.
Right. And then you
That
got
dude fucking.
Bowers, great.
You can suck it.
No. Bowers legit. That's what you were hoping you would get from Andrews last year, and you got it from Bowers instead.
Andrews fucked a lot of people when he
Oh, no
became a
doubt.
blocker.
Yeah, he became a fucking blocker, and he, for someone you're drafting in the second, third round, you
Yeah.
did not get that value.
What was it? Did I take? I went Kyle Pitts, Brock Bowers.
You went Kyle Pitts, Brock Bowers like in
No.
back-to-back rounds.
Yeah,
I was
they were
like,
back-to-back
what the
rounds.
Fuck?
No, you won because of Henry and AJ Brown.
No, but you don't understand. Like,
No,
where
Baker Mayfield won me
Won.
by fucking title.
Baker won it for him.
Because you didn't have to
Baker.
draft him, and you got him.
I took Baker. He's my backup. I had Tua at first,
Yeah,
then
wow.
concussion, and I
That's
cut
it.
him. That saved Steve's
That
season.
saved me. I picked up Tua late, and he was
Yeah.
smoking him and Miami's
it's so
tight end.
crazy. I've
Oh,
been there
yeah.
before, but having that undrafted or late drafted quarterback, it's
Yeah.
such a value spot where
Baker-
you get
Baker's-
just what you need.
When I
You
had to
didn't
cut
invest in
Tua,
it.
and Baker showed up, and
Yeah.
he won me my title.
Last
I
year was
like
the
it.
first year I ever had running backs do me any kind of fucking favors.
Last year was the first year I didn't lose my first round draft pick.
I don't want to.
I mean, fuck.
My first round draft pick was Henry. My second round draft pick was AJ Brown.
You did good.
No, that's W on both.
Yeah,
That
You
was
did
it.
good.
worked out well.
And it's crazy because if you remember last year during the draft, the big thing was, is it Brees Hall? Is it Bijan? And fucking Derrick Henry and Saquon just sat there.
Yeah.
And sat there. Saquon was picked fucking 14th in our fantasy draft.
I
Well,
would have
here's
took him
what-
if he
Rob,
got it
that's
back
a
around
fucking
to me.
sin. That is a sin.
Well, it was a
Yeah,
sin.
but here's no one thinks he's doing fucking 2,000
No,
yards.
no one
no.
thought he was going to have the year he did. Plus, they're weary of the injuries, right?
Yeah.
But shit.
Here,
you
my thing was,
expected
I was-
1,210 touchdowns.
Well, see,
I mean, getting
I
getting
wa-
him where you got him was a good pick for him.
yeah.
I was going to take him, but I was so sold on AJ Brown
Yeah.
that I was like, oh, Derrick Henry's solid.
Right,
and
right.
so, and I wasn't going to double up birds. I didn't want to do that. I usually only like to have one.
No,
I don't want to. I don't want to have.
I
all-
try
I-
never to draft.
Well, my thing is, I just don't want to sell my whole team out to my team.
Yeah.
If now had I done that this year, I would
You'd
have
have
been,
been
fine.
just as fine.
You've been
yeah.
fine.
But most years, I'm usually let down in that situation. So
No, I'm the same way.
yeah,
I think I reached for CD Lamb and that was a waste. Yeah, I
Yeah.
picked second, and CD wasn't that guy.
Yeah.
I don't know who the because remember Rodney went number one with McCaffrey.
I
think
couldn't
I
do
took-
I went number one in another league,
Yeah,
and I took Christian McCaffrey.
And you almost
I
had to.
luckily swooped Jordan Mason as soon as I knew he wasn't playing.
I drafted I did a
I
draft
made
for
it to
somebody.
the finals in that league.
I did a draft for somebody else and they had the first round pick and I picked McCaffrey too.
Yeah, McCaffrey
Yeah,
fucked
it was
everybody.
hard. Yeah, he did.
No, but I had like somebody else came in and started running the team and changed everything out from what I did and they still finished last. I was like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you kind of set him up for success with that Christian McCaffrey pick.
Who's
Well,
the
no,
first,
I mean,
who's
still
the
like
first pick this year? Who's the first pick?
Saquon
Saquon.
all day long.
Saquon's gone.
First
One.
pick. You think?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Who would? I
Even
mean,
though
there's no
the
debate.
idea of him doing back to back
Right. Like if
Dude,
I had
that
the
is-
first
it's
pick,
unlikely.
I'd
It's
rather
very
trade
unlikely.
out.
It's
I'd rather
unlikely.
trade out.
I still think 15 to 1,600 yards is very easily
That's
if
probably,
he stays healthy.
Yeah, no doubt.
15 to 1,600 is still successful as shit.
15,
Yeah, oh, no, no,
1,600
yeah.
to 12
Yeah.
to 15 touchdowns.
Yeah.
That's successful. That would be a good follow up to a
I-
2,000 yard season.
Well, let's be real. Like, I mean, the way teams look at what Philly does offensively anyway, they're going to try to stop him from.
Oh, yeah. Now it's straight up. We're putting everything in the box.
yeah.
Go ahead and pass around.
I think you
Jalen
should
Beats.
have to force. Yeah, absolutely force him to
But
beat you.
I mean, we saw that bit Kansas City in the ass. So hopefully that's the same scenario for the entire year going forward. We'll find out. I don't know. I just hope for the healthy. That's all I need.
Healthy is what a
Healthy,
lot of teams
healthy
need.
wins you a
Sometimes,
championship.
yeah, you're absolutely right, man.
Healthy
This is fun.
is what I want. Let's.
This is awesome.
Yeah. I mean, we didn't really cover as much draft as I'd really like to.
That's
We were
because
just-
we get all
Yeah,
like
we were
mouthy
talking some
about
shit,
stuff.
got a little emotional and everything. That's okay.
I mean, we haven't even talked about jerky yet or nothing.
Oh, no, man. I'm getting ready to get there to Big Fork Brands.
There we are.
The gateway to flavored Nirvana. Based in the heart of Chicago, the family-owned business crafts the finest burger and hot dog sauces, along with bacon sausages and paleo-friendly treats. Their standout product is the Real Windy City sauce. Captures the essence of Chicago's vibrant culinary scene. Dive into the range of pork sticks, bacon sauces, paleo jerky, and all designed to satisfy your cravings while supporting your keto-friendly lifestyle. You also get a 20% discount while using Jabba the Pod promo code.
There we are.
Again, that's bigporkbrand.com
Nice.
for all your.
Bob, what do you know about a hot dog sauce?
About hot dog sauce?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about hot dog sauce.
Big Four
Brand has
does
one.
Fucking hot dogs.
Oh yeah, so I'm like a hot dog. I like kraut. I like mustard, but I mean I'm all for some sauce.
Yeah, I'm excited to try this.
Yeah, I'm waiting. We're waiting.
So, hot dog, like, what is it Chicago does? They don't want ketchup. They don't like it when you
No,
rub
it's
ketchup
not a
on the
ketchup.
dog.
Yeah. I don't do ketchup on dogs anyway.
I
like ketchup.
You could put whatever you want in your dog.
I like
Just throw
ketchup.
something on
I'm a
there.
chili cheese fan.
That's
for
me.
Yes,
sure.
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
100%. But I mean, a regular dog with ketchup, it's not bad. I'm a big fan.
Man, I'm not 3. I'm not 6. That's what my kid eats.
I mean, just a basic dog with some ketchup on is not bad. That's the All American Classics.
I know.
I mean,
Don't
there's
like
nothing
it.
wrong with running some mustard up it too. I mean, that's good. But I mean, like, just a regular ketchup dog, man, that's the All American Classic.
I know. I'm just not a big ketchup guy.
You go into this 999 challenge and you're talking about fucking throwing chili and cheese on a dog.
No,
you
I ain't
won't
doing
make it
that
to the
either. It's
fourth
just going to
inning.
be plain dogs. That's it. I'm going full on.
Just plain dog. You know how bland they get?
Yeah, I
It's pretty
do.
bland.
Take it. I just need you to understand. Like,
I'm trying
take
to do.
it from
I am
take
trying.
it from the seasoned veteran.
I am trying to reduce the regurgitation flavor. I want it as basic as possible.
This is a solid strategy.
I want it as basic
I
as
did
possible.
not take this into account. I will give you this. I will give you this.
I,
It's a
I'm-
solid strategy, sir. Solid
I'm
strategy.
always worst case scenario.
So I didn't hawk. But I did tell you, my brother and I also upped the challenge. We chugged every beer at the beginning of the inning.
No, fuck all that.
Oh.
Yeah, so we shotgunned or chugged them, whatever. Each time we made it different. But no, the beers went down immediately, and then we probably had every dog finished by half inning.
Wow, we're
Yeah.
gonna have to have a hot dog. Sounds like it's
Dude, it's fun. It's a good time. So we watched the game we didn't give a fuck about.
We're gonna do it pretty soon here.
Yeah, and it's just you line up 9 dogs. And so what we did was, of course, we start off with a classic, right? Just catch up on the dog, scarf it down, nothing. First beer goes down like water.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing. You know, like I need another dog and another beer. So you're sitting there and you go ahead and crack the next beer. Next beer goes down smooth, so good. Next dog, another All American Classic,
It's
just
just-
catch up. Like, all right. I've had 2 dogs, I've had 2 beers. Let's change it up. I'm looking. We opened my brother's refrigerator. We're pulling different condiments
There.
out.
Ugh.
Like, what the fuck we got here? Looks like we threw some hot sauce on a dog. I mean, and we got creative as fuck. We put some peri peri on one, which is like this British like condiment they use. I mean, honestly, we got some good dogs out of this. And this is solid. This is a solid job.
Yeah. Ugh.
I'm a fan.
I'm
Let's do
going.
it again.
I'm going super basic on it. I'm limiting flavor coming back
You
up.
realize a bun on everyone, right?
I do.
You can't raw dog a dog.
I will make it work.
Can you double dog a bun or no? Is that not?
No, that's not acceptable.
We're going 1-on-1.
That's
okay.
9 buns.
I'll
9
j-
buns.
I'll
9
Joey
dogs.
Chestnut dip that shit in my beer and let's just roll.
I just
Yeah,
want
that-
chili cheese dogs. That's my favorite.
But you can't
I
do
love.
9.
Yeah,
chili-
there's no way
can't-
you're doing.
But I do
9
like a
chili cheese
sauerkraut dog. I'm a big fan of a sauerkraut dog.
I'm not a big fan.
You
of
ain't doing that on a
sauerkraut,
999
but You
challenge.
might be able to throw down the sauerkraut because I don't think that's going to have a lot of filling sensation to
You
it.
can't do a 999 challenge with chili cheese dogs. We're gonna-
No,
Absolutely
not.
not. I would love to watch a guy try.
I'll throw.
I would like.
Yeah,
to
I'm
see
not
that.
going to be that guy,
No.
but I would love to watch a guy try.
That's puke central.
Oh, absolutely. The chili's going to taste awful.
Ugh.
Nah, that's fine.
Combined
Yeah.
with fucking beers?
I'm,
No way.
my
No
my
fucking
thought
way.
process right there.
No, those are going to come up gross.
So when's your guys' next pod? Is it after the draft? It's gonna be a
Yeah,
post
we're going
draft.
to run it after the draft.
It'll be after the draft.
Post draft.
Okay.
Maybe
okay.
during round 7 on Sunday.
Yeah, maybe during round.
Round 7.
By then, we'll have a lot of questions answered.
Yeah, a lot more
see how well
questions.
we predicted this shit?
I'm sure we'll be wrong somewhere.
Massive failures. But that's what we're using.
I do think it really goes off at number 3. I do think that the Giants deciding whether they want to do Shador or
I
if
think
they're
that's
gonna go.
I think that's going to dictate the
How the rest
direction of
of
the
that-
entire draft.
Correct, I
I think
do.
that's where we're at.
Are we going to get desperate? We're going to reach for a QB, or are we going to be
Shador's-
smart?
Shador's falling hard. I don't want to say falling hard because I think the Saints still could take him at 9.
I think it's a solid.
But if
landing
he
spot for him.
doesn't, if Giants, Saints, Steelers. That's
Is a
where
guy like
the picks are
JJ
happening.
McCarthy that much better than a Shador Sanders? Is he though? And again, it's a hypothetical question.
Here's the thing about JJ. You don't get rid of Sam Darnold, who just won you
Oh, they're confident. in him.
15
They
games,
feel good.
Yeah,
about it.
no doubt.
if you don't feel good about
They
it.
feel real good.
But at the same time, it's
mean, the
still a
whole
shot in the
thing-
dark. You haven't seen this guy against pro
No, I'm
competition.
not. I agree
Minute-
with you. I
And that's
agree
where I
with you.
do like even though I don't think Shador may not have the top end talent, he has been faced with the challenge of being the man the past couple of years. He's battle tested. I don't know. I like Cam
Minnesota
Ward as
didn't
a
even
prospect.
enter negotiations.
No, they just said
Yeah.
no. We're okay with
They
it.
said no. We're going in another direction. We're going with JJ McCarthy. I mean, Sam Darnold.
That lets you know Minnesota has no interest
They're
in
gonna
entertaining a quarterback.
No,
They're okay going minimum and letting. Yeah, no doubt.
They
I
got
mean
other
they've got
gaps.
they've
They
got
other
good
gaps.
weapon system around
Yeah.
him.
They got other gaps.
Yep.
And I think Minnesota. I mean, as much as it might pain Steve to say, it probably has their head on right
Yeah,
here.
they do.
Spend the money where they need to.
Yeah,
Yeah, no doubt.
absolutely. Yeah.
Spend the money where you need to. Draft the holes you need. And
We talked a lot about me and Bob's team. What about yours, Steve?
my team, they need defense.
What?
Defense, and honestly, I would have traded a second round pick for Metcalf.
Really?
Yeah, I would have.
You were willing
I
to
would
jump?
have. I would love to see them with a legit number 1. I think honestly they've got 4 number 2s sitting there.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that's terrible, but I need a guy that
I mean, I agree with you because I don't think any of because they change week to week, right?
yeah.
We saw it.
So
Yeah,
what's
what,
that
you
trade
got
look
Christian
like? You're probably gonna have to
Watford, you
get
got
rid of one of
Jalen
those
Reed.
guys.
Who's the third?
Well, it was Reed, it
Watson.
was
Bo
Melton,
Watson,
yeah.
it was having brain farts on names.
Who's the other one, Bob? You remember?
Well, yeah, Bo Melton, but he was
Nah.
more of a 4.
Basically.
Watson.
It was Watson, it's
Jaden
Reed,
Reed.
it's
Who's their
dang it,
the
why
burner
I
guy?
am straight up having a brain fart here.
I
Hang
thought
on.
Watson,
I'm looking it up.
or
right
not
now.
Watson, but Reed was.
It is. I got it right here in front of me.
So you could go with the like 0 number
They
1
did
receiver.
sign.
That's the
they,
KC.
They signed
approach.
McCole Hardman.
Oh,
didn't they?
whatever.
Oh, Romeo Dobbs.
Romeo
Dobbs.
Dobbs. It's
Another number
Watson,
2.
Dobbs, Reed.
You guys got
Hardman.
4 number 2s. You got 3 number 2s.
Yeah. We got 3, 4 number 2.
You have 4 number 2s, really.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that, but you,
No, there's
think
nothing
Green
wrong
Bay-
with that,
I think
but
what
I
Green Bay's
need-
doing. Green Bay's waiting to see if one of them becomes a one.
They're waiting.
well, that's what Buffalo waited for. That's what Kansas City waited for.
Yeah.
You don't need a number 1, but you better be plus at other positions if you don't have a number.
Agreed.
Yeah. And I just don't think they're plus anywhere.
Fair enough.
Right.
I mean, Josh Jacobs,
Jacobs
did
is
a
a plus.
Jake,
I love Jacobs.
Jacobs did fantastic. Year.
Tight end, you're probably a plus.
Hey, Kraft's not terrible.
He's better than half of the
He's not
NFL's.
bad, but he's a young guy too.
Yeah.
I mean, they're super young on offense.
Well, they're one of the youngest teams in the league.
They're the youngest team in the league, I believe. So I mean, I'm good with that in ways, but at the same time, I'm just like I need some defense. Like I was just talking to somebody today. I was talking to my brother about it, and I was talking about the year that the Packers drafted AJ Hawk, I think 4th or 5th in the draft, and I hate Ohio State
No.
as much as anybody else does. And that was the only time, like, if they don't draft AJ Hawk at this pick, I'm done. Because it was what they needed at the time.
Right.
And they did it.
It's nice when it works out like that.
Yeah, but it has to. Damn. But
I felt like Dallas was there when they drafted Micah and CeeDee Lamb. It was just where it just worked out. And you're like, oh, that's the fucking right pick. It's nice when you could really draft on not what I need and just like, wow,
I like when you can.
this guy slid right to me. This is fucking awesome.
I
And
like it
that's
when
really
you can
nice.
do the
Man,
best
it is
available.
Really nice, I will say
It
it
is
is
the-
pretty nice.
Yeah. You guys.
And that's
did it a
why in
couple
like
times.
fantasy,
That's
I
what
like
speeding
drafting.
tickets will do for you.
I love drafting at 11, 10, 11, 12 in fantasy drafts for that reason. It's like, all right, who just fell to my lap?
That's why I do appreciate it. I like those later picks because
You know, as much as, McCaffrey's there as the number one,
It
that
fucks you.
10, 11, 12 with a choice of Saquon, Derrick Henry, A.J. Brown, you're just like, holy shit, like, just
this is
don't
okay.
fuck it up.
Hey, guess what? I get to turn around and pick again. I
Just
might
don't
get
fuck
two
up
of
these picks.
guys.
Right.
I might get two of them.
It's that waiting between getting that person second and getting
Yeah.
that third and fourth that is.
No, I've always been a big fan of the end of the first round for that reason. Just having that,
I like the back-to-back
That
kind of
that
snake.
12,
Bang,
12,
bang.
13.
I'd
or
much rather have number 12 and number 13 than
than
number
1
1
and
and 24.
24.
Yeah,
100%. No
I'm
doubt.
with you on that.
I think my point total's good.
I'm with you on that.
Well, I think whenever you're at the beginning or the end of fantasy round, the guys that you're seeing, you're not going to see them the following way back.
Right.
You got a one-shot chance of getting you what you want. And the fact that you got a 2, a 12, and a 13 or whatever it is, it's like, all right, well, maybe I'll reach for this one guy and then I could take the safe guy here where, I don't know. I like being back at it around. I always felt like there's guys that last back there that, there's no reason that Derrick Henry or Saquon Barkley should have lasted past the top 5 pick last year. There's no reason.
In one of the mocks I did last year, I got Jahmyr Gibbs and Derrick Henry with my first 2 picks.
It just shouldn't happen because
No, it shouldn't, but that's what I got.
And this year you're in the same boat. There's no way you should end up with a Derrick Henry and Jahmyr Gibbs in the first 2 rounds.
No,
that
shouldn't.
shouldn't be possible for you to get both.
It
those
should
guys.
not be possible.
Okay, so who is the guy? Who are the guys?
Well, it's going to be Saquon.
Well, no. I understand that. Who are the Saquon and the Derrick Henry?
The guy that should be picked in the first round that's going to slip in the second. That's good. That's a good call.
I think Bijan falls.
Bijan will fall.
Bijan's good, and he has the opportunity to be better.
Yep.
Brees Hall is going to fall
Brees Hall is gonna
because he
fall.
was a top 3 and he didn't.
Well, they
finish
thought
that.
the opportunity was there for him, right? There was an opportunity for Brees Hall to be good. I just don't know if I sell out for Brees Hall because I just don't know
Right.
what the Jets offense could possibly do.
Last
I
year.
like Justin Fields.
I like Justin Fields too.
I
a lot.
just don't trust the Jets doing anything correct by an offense.
No, I'm with you on that.
I think
With you on that. Let's see who
I
else.
posed this question. I didn't have an idea in mind, so that really sucks.
I think next
I
year
like
you're going to go
Bijan-
back to.
Bijan's solid.
Ooh, I like
I think next year you're going to have a lot more first round running backs
Who
because
did the
this past year you had a lot of the first round wide receivers, the Tyreeks,
Yes.
the CDs, Lambs,
Yeah,
Jefferson, Chase. I think you're going to see more first round running backs fall into that late first round
I
stuff.
like the idea of that. That makes sense.
And I would jump on that myself.
I think going back to back running back, first second round is probably going to be your
It's
your
ballsy,
sixth-
but it's there.
Yeah, I think that's going to lead you to success in the long run.
You can't tell me if you're sitting in like 10 and what, 10 and 12,
I think 10 is your best pick.
getting a
based
fucking
on that.
Jahmyr Gibbs and, who
Yeah,
knows?
doubling-
A Josh
dou-
Jacobs or
Yeah,
something.
Does
Doubling
Jameer
up.
last till 10?
Probably not this year. No,
Not
I
this
think
year.
I think
I
what
think
your
Josh
first
Jacobs is going to be that guy that's at the end of 10.
I think Josh could be there.
you're
at
going to be
10.
looking at
think you're
Jacobs around there.
I
yeah,
think
no
you're
doubt.
talking about what he's saying. The Bijan, your second pick's got to be solid. It's got to be the Bijan on the back end.
Man,
It's
the
got to
last
be the
two
Brees
couple
Hall
years,
on the back end.
yeah.
Yeah.
Who's going to be the one to come and get this guy on the second side?
It's got to be the
I mean,
second
do
pick.
do you run the risk and pull David Montgomery in the second round? Just
Man,
based
the
on
last
that?
two, who got me the last two couple years? Garrett Wilson got me the second round pick or the last pick of the first round the last couple years, and he hasn't been that guy.
I don't want to.
And
Garrett Wilson, the problem is you had Aaron Rodgers there. Aaron Rodgers wasn't going to be a Garrett
Here's the
Wilson guy.
thing, though.
But he should have
You
been.
got a guy that's got.
No, he should have been. You're 100% right.
You got a guy that's thrown to them before.
Yeah. And as
No,
with
I
Fields,
li-
you're
I
talking
like
about Fields.
Justin
I like
Fields
Justin
in
Fields.
that. This
I
is,
like
this is
Justin
an
Fields.
opportunity for Garrett Wilson.
I
to
won't touch
shine.
Garrett Wilson with a 4th-round pick
Oh,
this
no,
year
no,
because
no,
he's
'cause-
burned me to pass
Yeah,
too.
once you've been burnt, man, it sucks. Like
Yeah.
that's like me and Rob Gronkowski.
Right.
I don't know, bro.
You guys just don't get song.
I take
Yeah, me
I
and
take
Rob-
that I
me
take
and
that
Rob
burn
were tight.
Oh,
burn
man.
every year, dude. There for a while, like I was a huge Hunter
Felix
Henry guy.
two-time and Jones, that motherfucker. Yeah, that guy's gotten me before.
And
man.
Hunter
Yeah,
Henry
no.
got me like 3
Oh,
years. in a
Henry
row.
got me. Yeah,
He is
there's some
great for
guys.
like 6 games.
you overdraft those guys for years, and like you said, Steve, there's just 6
They're
years.
always
These
your
guys.
sneaky pick. Too. You're like,
No, my sneaky pick in a PPR league every year. I absolutely loved. What was the dude's name that played for New England? Like the D3 greatest football player ever. He won like the D3 Heisman Trophy back to back.
Oh,
years.
Danny fucking Woodhead.
Yes,
That's D2, dog. He was D2.
he was like the man in PPR. He was 15
That's
points
it,
every
that's it.
every week.
Oh no, Danny Woodhead was big in San
But-
Diego too.
Yes.
Yeah, but you
Yeah.
just draft. I mean, that's a free agent. That's a guy you get in the 10th round or whatnot. You don't count
Yeah.
on him. But at the end of the year, that motherfucker's starting.
That-
He's your flex.
That is your flex.
Dude's
He's-
getting 15 points a game, getting
Every
60
time.
yards rushing,
Yes.
60 yards receiving, a
These are
touchdown
the
every
picks
other
that
week.
win you titles.
Yeah,
You
no
gotta,
doubt.
You gotta have the hidden gem somewhere.
No, they're there. They're there. You know, for every guy that you reach for, like your Drake Londons and shit. And,
Yeah.
you know, there's.
That's the thing that scares me is you really don't know what you have in Atlanta this year, outside of Bijan.
That's the same last year, and that's why.
No,
That's
I thought
why I
I,
think
thought
the-
I
was
knew what
confident
they had
year.
last
I
year.
was confident last
Last
year.
year.
We had
I
Atlanta,
don't-
Atlanta was rolling with the AFC South.
And that's
Or
why you
NFC
go
South.
with
No,
Gibbs
and I
over
don't
Bijan.
know. No, I think Bijan can still do what he did last year. I think he can. I think the question is,
I
it's
think
all going to be a
talent-wise,
Well,
yes.
Bijan was what 1,400 yards.
yeah.
10 touchdowns.
I had him last year. It was great.
I'd rather
Yeah.
Gibbs, I think. They're gonna score
Well,
more.
fuck, dude. I just took Gibbs too with like
Even with
1,400
Gibbs-
yards and 25 touchdowns.
Even with Gibbs
Gibbs-
splitting carries, I still think that because the offense is a more dominant offense. And
Gibbs is off the board.
It's a but it's a better offense overall. You know what you're getting from Jared Goff. You know what you're getting from that wide receiver
the
core.
floor is a lot higher.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes. Like I don't know what I'm getting from Michael Penix yet.
No. He could be the worst quarterback in the league or he could be a top 10. I don't. But
I mean,
but
this-
but it's there. That range
This
is
is
there,
my
right?
question mark about Michael Penix. If Penix is your guy, why are you still holding on to Kirk Cousins?
Because they don't
Cap
want it.
it.
Yeah, at the cap hit. They would love to trade him.
No,
They
I get the
can't.
cap hit, but that I think there's some teams that would trade for it.
And,
I think there are.
And Atlanta's at the point where it's like, well, fuck it. I'm spending this much on 2 quarterbacks. It doesn't matter who I'm spending it on. I'm spending this much on 2 quarterbacks, so fuck it. Like,
No. Here's the thing.
I'm gonna
Atlanta,
I'm going to enforce
good,
Kirk Cousins
good,
to sit
good
there.
on Kirk Cousins to make the money.
Oh, that
good
piece-
on-
he's
good on
made
him.
so much money, but
Good on him.
yes.
But at the same time, like I don't know, I'm just not. I'm not sold on Penix yet. I mean, I like Penix at Washington. I liked him as a college quarterback. I need to see something
oh, you need
early.
results in a pro. Yeah, no doubt.
I need to see something early this year from him. Because what I saw at the tail end of last year didn't really look impressive. I mean, he was fighting. But anyway.
Oh, first round pick. I want to see an upgrade. I want to see better than the previous season.
I mean, they've got skill players.
You know,
I'm still trying to figure out Kyle Pitts.
that
That's
might
the
be a
guy I
lost
don't
cause.
know.
But these guys drafting this
I
year,
just
these
think he's in a
Cam
bad
Wards,
situation.
these Shadors, these Jackson Darts, you guys have an opportunity. You're a first round pick. Like, it's time to get it done.
Think-
Might take meds.
Well,
Gotta take meds.
Kyle Pitts.
Oh, fuck.
Pitts needs an atmosphere altogether.
It's crazy because you thought Kyle Pitts was going to be that Antonio Gates kind of guy, and sometimes these guys just come in, and even with the skill set that they have, It just doesn't.
I just don't think he's been in a situation that's been great for him.
Desmond Ritter was like the worst possible guy.
Right.
You're a tight end. I mean, you're running 5-yard routes. How can you, even if you.
Because Desmond Ritter was always looking for a big,
It was
big hit.
something. Desmond Ritter had games where if you looked at like his final stats, you're like, oh, okay, that doesn't sound terrible.
It's
But he
kinda-
would have games he was
This is why
15 of 20 for 205 yards, but one of those catches would be for 75 yards.
Right.
Yeah,
I
that's
just
the
don't
thing,
know.
Is because that's when Drake London had a fucking solid rookie year, and you're like, Drake London's the shit.
This guy got the goods, yeah.
And that's because he's looking for that home run ball.
Mm-hmm.
He finds the home run ball with Drake London once again.
But I
And
also
Drake
think their
London-
offensive line
Drake
wasn't
London
very
paid
good.
off his rookie year. Drake London didn't pay off last year.
All right, so is London a 1? Is Pitts a 1?
Drake London should be a 1.
Should be a 1.
Should be a 1.
Pitts should be a 1.
Pitts, I'm sold out on. I'm done.
You've
Pitts-
invested
Pitts-
enough, yeah.
I've had him twice, and
I've had him.
it's not working.
I've had
And
a couple.
here-
times.
You wanted Antonio Gates, and you didn't get that.
Exactly. So last year I took Pitts,
Right,
and I was like, I like the
Third,
idea
fourth
of Kirk
round.
Cousins,
right.
but I went the very next round and took Brock Bowers because I did not trust Kyle Pitts,
Yeah.
and
get
I
it.
wanted to fuck Steve.
But Bauer's nice.
I knew exactly where he was going.
But you did.
No, I like the
But-
Him,
Bauer's
him
better.
and Rob sit over in a corner. We're gonna do this round because it's gonna fuck Steve.
No, we didn't do it like that.
It was
But-
pretty close there near
It-
the end. The last like 7
Yo, you
rounds, it was
felt-
100%.
You felt like that. You felt like that. It wasn't the case. Rob doesn't know enough to even.
No, Rod's it.
Yeah,
Rod's it.
dude, he
Rob's
knew
so-
enough to have Matt Stafford and somebody else and still turned around and drafted Jordan Love.
That's not knowing enough. That's taking 3 quarterbacks like he does every year.
Fucking in
That's
9
you mad
rounds.
at me for him taking 3 quarterbacks?
Yeah, you.
When
yeah,
my
yeah, because
first
he's over
quarterback-
there talking to you about it, and what I hear is, "Oh, that's so gonna piss him off."
It might. I was a little hammered.
Rob don't know. I mean, but
Yeah, Rob
I
takes
love,
3 quarterbacks.
and
Rob
that's the
does.
thing with
Rob will take
fantasy
3
football.
quarterbacks this year. I guarantee it. Depending on where Rob picks, it's going to be Patrick Mahomes or Jalen Hurts. Because he's usually the first one off the board with the quarterback. Am I right?
Dude, honestly, unless Kansas City gets some like help, I'm not taking Mahomes till 6. Easy.
So the thing is,
Mahomes
I
not even on
love-
my board.
No,
I
that's what I'm
love the
saying.
late fantasy quarterback. I love the Baker Mayfield.
Yes.
I won it with Kirk
You're
Cousins
singing
one
to-
year. I
you're-
won it with
you're
Carson
thinking-
Palmer.
You're thinking common sense.
It's
Quarterback.
so hard to
Just-
wait in a fantasy draft to pass Josh Allen, to pass Jackson, to pass Mahomes.
You're preaching to the choir.
Last
this is
year-
a Kirk Cousins positive podcast.
I
It's
did
crazy.
multiple mock drafts where I took quarterbacks after the 10th round, and the quarterbacks I got were Jared Goff.
Brock Purdy,
I got Brock Purdy.
Joe Burrow coming off elbow injury.
No, you're not getting Burrow. That
Burrow
still went early.
Burrow's
Burrow
still going.
still went
But
early.
I was able to get like Stafford. I was able to get Goff. I was able to get guys like that.
You've had
Late-
Kirk Cousins before.
Yeah.
You had him last year. That's
I had him last year, and he was awful.
But you had him before that.
Yeah,
'cause
no,
we alternate years with
Yeah.
Kirk Cousins.
It's so hard to stay disciplined, to pass up all those guys and say, you know what? Baker Mayfield, me and you, brother, we're going to ride this shit out. And it's fucking nuts
I mean, I
because
give Baker Mayfield a huge hug right
you would. I want to give Carson
love Baker.
Palmer a hug from like 10 years ago because
yeah,
it was
I
like,
mean, those are the
Carson
ones that
Palmer, I
win
picked
you.
you off the free agent list and you threw 39 touchdowns and you won my fantasy league.
See,
Because I
it's
didn't
those.
invest anything in you and you exceeded, you overachieved so much.
Well, I think that's what is lost in fantasy football drafts is that everybody thinks like
I gotta have that guy.
I gotta get
gotta have-
Mahomes. I
gotta
gotta
have
get
that guy.
Lamar.
I got 30. There's 32 quarterbacks. that People
Now the
forget it.
crazy thing is though, like Lamar was the pick last year. He was the pick because he went as a quarterback.
Nobody
I-
expected his quarterback numbers that he did last year.
So
They didn't expect him to throw like he did.
That's
So
what I'm
his
saying.
value-
Good throw.
his value is like in the 3rd round.
Yeah.
but his production was still number one,
One.
number two.
Yeah.
And guys like that won. Guys like Mox, guys like my brother in my other league, because
Mox isn't really fair because he just picks right.
Yeah,
that's
he's a
fine.
Baltimore guy.
but Lamar Jackson was that ideal pick for a quarterback who didn't have to get picked in the first 4 rounds,
Yeah.
but got that production of a first round pick. And that's what you're hoping for. We need to exceed expectations. And
Well, that's what you're looking for in fantasy football, period.
Baker did that.
Yeah,
Lamar
Baker,
did that. Mahomes didn't. Mahomes was the first or second quarterback picked, and he produced as a 7th round fantasy football quarterback.
Mahomes is awful last year.
Mahomes lost you a fantasy football.
Right.
Yeah.
What was his final standing? I don't know, but it wasn't the 2nd or 3rd best fantasy quarterback pick.
No, he was down the list.
Yeah, he's
It
probably-
I mean,
was
last
Lamar.
year, last
It
year,
was
last year
Jaden
was
Daniels.
his worst.
Jaden
like,
Daniels was a free
statistical-
agent pick.
Yes.
Yeah,
DeWan, if I'm not
He was-
mistaken.
I got him in my other league, and I drafted him in the 10th round because you're like, all right,
There's a chance. Yeah.
he's a 10th round pick, but yet this guy could be a top 4.
it's well.
Top 5 guy.
Here's the thing. You don't typically go into a draft, a fantasy draft anyway, and say, "I'm taking a rookie quarterback to be my guy."
No.
No, that's your backup.
You're picking him
He's
round
solely based on
15.
potential. It's the same thing guys go into this draft with, but we're not wasting a first round pick on them because they forget fantasy football guys like us might be a little smarter.
No, I love it.
Ain't done me
It's-
any fucking good.
It's fun. We definitely should get on before the fantasy draft again.
Oh yeah, of course. And that- I mean,
No,
that-
but I'd want to do a pre-draft.
Pre-draft,
And post-draft.
mid-draft. I'm talking pre, mid, and post. I think we got it all. Like a mid. Come
Like-
on.
mid draft's gonna be difficult.
Like hit like the 8th round and hit like a straight up pause button. Everybody chill for a second.
in.
Let's do 30 minutes.
We do it anyway. I think that's. Yeah, I think we should do that.
I like the idea.
kind of like it. I'm in with it.
I'm here for it, guys.
Who's taking the over under how many advertisements we get in?
Oh, it's under.
I'm
Actually,
saying
no.
2.
I'm gonna say
2.
we're gonna get the over because we're gonna do all of them in the first like 10
And
minutes.
we do multiple ones.
We need some more.
Big Fork Brands. We forgot Big Fork Brands. Not today.
Yeah, no, we didn't.
I'm just saying during that episode,
We'll get some. Yeah,
we'll forget it, or we'll forget we even did it. I'm all for the progression of the episode and how it goes.
I think you're due for one of those. Just a
Um,
3-part episode. You could record it 3 different
Bob,
spots.
man, you got to come back when we do we do 2 or 3 of them a year. We do just say whatever the fuck is on our like mind at that moment episode.
Bring
It may
it.
not even be
I
sports.
love it.
It is just whatever we feel like talking about.
I like it. I'm
those are
like.
good.
We
I
end
love,
up in
I
rabbit
love the
holes.
Hall of Fame meter. I love the ancient stats in baseball, like the Nolan Ryan and the Tony Gwynn stats.
Oh, dude,
You
Tony-
bring those up.
I love that shit. So you guys just let me know. I'll come in whenever. This is great. This is where I belong.
No, this is good stuff. I've had a blast tonight.
This is a good time. We were on for 2 hours, right? We did our thing.
Bro.
Yeah,
Blackout
almost-
Bob never showed
almost-
up. This is-
Almost 3 hours.
Oh,
Yeah.
We're at
shit.
2 hours and 42 minutes.
Yeah, my wife's like, "Are you coming home?" It's like, I'm still potting.
I
Still-
think this is a good spot to stop.
I'm
We
still
did-
spitting
we did
some
run
goodness.
long, but anytime we have a guest, a special Bob.
Oh, it always runs. It always runs long.
And I think it's well worth the investment time to listen because I think Bob brings out the best of our knowledge.
I'm here whenever you need me. I love it. I love chatting.
Or
with
the
you
best of our
guys.
cowboy hate.
It-
One or the other.
We
You
didn't
know
even
what?
hit
I'm
the
getting
cowboy
some-
hate. We didn't even hit it that hard.
No, we didn't hit
You
it that
didn't,
hard.
and it's somewhere in between. Like I love spitting a little knowledge, talking some shit, and just throwing
It's
back
fun.
a couple good ones. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And it's
Thanks for
Not
having
a-
me, guys. I really I look forward to this. I talk to my family. I'm like, yo, I gotta be ready. I gotta speak loud. I gotta be proficient. Blackout Bob. I gotta keep him in the hatch.
Hey,
And
we gotta throw him.
no. The worst is like I spent like 2 hours this morning like prepping it. We talked about the draft all.
I was
like,
doing it with
20
my daughter.
minutes.
I was talking to my daughter. I'm like, am I loud enough? Am I speaking clearly? Like, and I was doing
y'all
the
were
same shit.
fortunate to do that. I mean, I drove not home today. How I'm awake is a fucking miracle.
You. I
It's
get to
been
go-
real. I'd love to hear.
I'm
the,
still not
post.
getting home till
Yeah, get a little,
fuck. It's gonna be
it's gonna be a little late.
It'll be fun, bud.
Thank
gonna
God. I
be
gotta run home.
11:45 before I get home.
Have fun.
Well, guys, thank you for having me. I love being here. This
Yeah,
is
no, we appreciate
this is
it, Bob.
always
Anytime.
awesome.
Anytime.
Anytime, brother.
Bring me
Well,
back, please.
Oh,
Hey,
I told you, man. We'll bring you back next week. We'll do the post draft and we'll get your take on what the Cowboys did.
It won't be good.
It'll be
I don't know if we
fine.
want to talk about that, but
As long as they don't do something just crazy.
they won't. They always go safe.
Honestly, it should be offensive linemen all day long.
That's
Take
what they
the-
should be doing.
When Dallas is good,
I
is when
feel-
they have
I
a good
feel
offensive line.
confident, Like if
No, there's first
On it.
round
that's
O lineman out
gonna
there.
pick.
Watch them take a wide receiver.
They like the guy from Texas. I don't think he's in.
The dude
I
that-
don't want
the
Matthew
4-2
Golden,
guy?
The 4-2 guy. That doesn't do it for me. I want a blocker.
I think you get some offensive line help. I think Javante Davis or Javante Williams could do you well, to be honest.
There's 4 first round offensive tackles in there. I hope they end up with one.
I hope
So-
you choose a kid.
But until next week.
Thank you, guys.
So we ended on that. I like it.
Where the beer flows like wine.
Where the beer flows like wine and choose kickers.
Yeah.
All right, man. Until next week, after the draft, we'll cover what happened, what took place, all the big moves, and who we think will eventually be the favorite going in.
Yes, sir.
All right, man. I like it. Thanks, Bob. We appreciate you.
Love you guys. Glad
Love
to be
you,
here.
brother.
See you next week.